greetings.
I hope everybody's had a wonderful night last night and started off their morning beautifully. I hope we broke our fast with the food that we need to eat and the prayers that we need to make in order for us to just, be ready for the day. Last night we celebrated, but before I even talk about last night, yesterday morning or at noon for some of us, we were introduced to the history of reparations and the history of NCOBRA. That was presented by our sister Ajua and our brother Akinyeli. We had some legislative discussion. We spoke with Judge Mathis and we spoke with Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee. We had a series of different discussions and town hall conversations, one of which was the work that is being done in Evanston. In our town hall, we had various different folks. We really had a real Pan-African town hall where we were both here on the Western Hemisphere and Eastern Hemisphere, speaking to you live. And last night we celebrated with some sounds of the diaspora. Today, in this 32nd Annual National Convention, Day 2, Reparations Now More Than a Check is our theme. Let's not forget that. And we would like to begin our day with commission and regional meeting announcements and hearings and all of the things for us to know what's been going on in our regions, in our commissions. Following that, we'll hear from our academic speakers on healing and the repair that's necessary for us to do internally as a people. And we will have a session led by our youth entitled Reparations from Young Adult Perspectives. Then, it is Saturday night, so we'll be having another celebration that is more of a soundscape, more of a sonic symbolism to freedom, joy, peace, tranquility, presented by myself. So now I want to turn it over to our brother, my elder, one of my leaders here in the Northeast region of NCOBRA and in Philadelphia, Osaze McKenzie, for our spiritual opening and libation. After him, we will lift every voice and sing. But before that, please, Brother Osaze, take us where we belong.
Thank you, Brother Rashawn, for that. In the spirit of our ancestors, protected by their blood, we shall honor each and every wound this glorious NCOBRA day. On their shoulders, we do stand, and with our voice, we will speak for them in demanding justice for them and their descendants. Again, Hotep, I'm Brother Osaze, and I welcome you to NCOBRA's 32nd National Conference. At this time, I'll serve as the libationist to begin our second day. As you know, our ancestors are due our deepest, deepest respect. And when we come together, our tradition is to pour libations. By conducting the libation ceremony, we honor them, and we also believe we invoke their spirits to be with us. Each of us is seen as spirit who has taken on a form of the human to carry out a specific divine purpose on this planet. This spiritual energy is wrapped in matter for identification purposes. Spirit is an energy that keeps us connected to our Creator and our ancestors. We continue the relationship with our ancestor spirit by invocating and evocating and recognizing their presence within us. We are gods and goddesses having a human experience on this planet. We call on our ancestors in spirit to guide, strengthen, and protect us, to carry out our divine purpose. For us, one purpose is to carry out the Mayan principle of justice for our ancestors and their descendants for the crimes against humanity in the form of reparations. I quote Baba Komene: when we act without the counsel of our elders and the invocation of our Creator and ancestors, we are acting alone. Libations is a ritual that pays respect for those who came before us and created the trail that we blaze. We are because they were. Since they were, we are. So during this ceremony, when you hear me say we pour libations, your response should be Ashe. I'm going to turn my computer around to my Ile Orisha that I have at home, where I do my libations and speak to my ancestors, so I can pour the libations. Let us begin. We call on our ancestors far and near, mothers of our mothers, fathers of our fathers, to bear witness to what we have done. And by their example, they continue to inspire us to claim our African minds, regenerate our African spirits, liberate the African homeland, and reclaim our greatness as a people. We pour libations. Ashe.
Ashe.
We honor all our ancestors in antiquity who gave civilization to the world, especially Tahuti, who lived on the antediluvian period, or the period before the Great Flood, who was considered the personification of all wisdom and truth. The Greeks called him the scribe of the gods, changed his name to Hermes Trismegistus, the thrice great. We pour libations. Ashe.
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 We honor the
Ashe.
great Menes who came from Upper Kemet and conquered Lower Kemet and united into the first nation state in the history of the known world, which began dynastic Kemet. We pour libations. Ashe.
Ashe.
Honor the great Hemotep, who during the third dynastic period was a great vizier to Pharaoh Dozier, who built the first above ground stone structure in the history of the world called the Step Pyramid. He was the first physician to stand out in history of the world. The Greeks worshipped him as a god of medicine, but called him Asclepius. We pour libations. Ashe.
Ashe.
We honor our mothers and fathers of the three great West African empires, Ghana, Mali, Songhai, which grew to be larger than all of Europe and housed the great University of Sankore and built the great cosmopolitan city of Timbuktu. Mansa Musa I, emperor of Mali Empire, was the richest person in the history of the world with a wealth in today's dollars of 400 billion. We pour libations. Ashe.
Ashe.
We honor our ancestors were forcibly wrenched from our homelands and placed in the bottom of ships and brought to the Americas and enslaved as chattel for 246 years. We pour libations. We honor our ancestors who fought in the Civil War to liberate ourselves from the savagery of chattel enslavement, only to face de jure, de facto Jim Crow and terrorism. We pour libations. Ashe.
Ashe.
We honor all our ancestors who demanded justice for reparations for African Holocaust of chattel slavery and Jim Crow, such as the Honorable Collie House, Queen Mother Audley Moore, Queen Mother Dorothy Benton Lewis, Baba Omari Abubakar Obadeli, Baba Hannibal Afrique, Sister Injiri Allegheny, Sister Latifa Ali, founder of the Philadelphia chapter, Baba Chokwe Lumumba, Reparations Ray Jenkins, the Honorable President General Redmond Battle, Baba Milton McGriff, and the Honorable Conrad Worrell, just to name a few. We pour libations.
Ashe.
We honor our great historians and African thought leaders who decoded the system of white supremacy racism and who uncovered and enlightened us to our true history, such as Sheikh Anta Diop, Dr. John Henry Clark, Dr. Chancellor Williams, Dr. Yusuf A. Benjamin, Drusilla Dungy Houston, Dr. Everett W. Robinson Jr., Dr. Ivan Van Sertima, Dr. Amos Wilson, Dr. Francis Crest Wilson, and Asa Hilliard, just to name a few. We pour libations. Ashe.
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 Please, let's uplift names I have omitted or you would like to add, even family members to our ancestors. You may do this at this time. Charles Norman McKenzie Sr.,
Callie
Wow.
House,
Michael Davis,
Malcolm X, Dr. Martin Luther King,
Ernest Davis,
Jenny Kelly.
Gene Davis,
Bob Wilson, Betty Wilson,
Amos Wilson,
Frank Alfonso.
Samuel McKenzie.
Mary
Irvin
Velazquez,
Davis.
Come on,
James
say two.
Robinson, Mark Robinson,
Ann Simpkins, Laura Allen,
Bishop and Mother David J. Mills.
George Pumphrey, Rachel Pumphrey,
come on, say two.
Brian King.
Thank you. We pour libations. Ashe.
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 And finally, for our children and their children and future generations yet to come, that in their time they will vindicate us from all adversaries and continue to imprint upon the world the great genius of African humanity. We pour libations.
Ashe.
Ashe.
Venerable spirits of our ancestors descend upon this place and guide us in everything we say and do. Let us proceed in peace. Thank you for your participation. Reparations now, reparations now, reparations now.
Reparations now.
Now.
Okay, thank you.
Ashe.
have a discussion about both our regions and our commissions, and that is going to be led by our Queen Mother and co-chair of NCOBRA National, Queen Mother Masha Ruthie. Thank you so much. How are you today?
I'm fine. I'm fine. And greetings to everyone. We really appreciate you being with us today. As I said yesterday, you could choose to be anywhere, and you have chosen to be with us. So I hope yesterday was informative for you. I hope you learned something. I think I know a thing or two, but I learned a thing or two. And I'd like to thank Brother Rashawn, as well as Brother Kepper, for the work that they're doing. And then what a lot of you don't know is, the back end of this is handled by Carla's Design, Sister Hattie, and we want to give her our great appreciation. It takes a lot to put something like this together, and we couldn't have done it alone, and we definitely couldn't have done it without Sister Hattie, so we appreciate that. For those who may have been here last night for the town hall meeting, it was just insightful. One thing that came out of it, and I'd like for everybody to think about, somebody said, we keep dealing with Zoom, and what we really need is a Black version, boom. So any of you techies out there, if you know any, let's try to work on that. Let's try to get our own. Which is what we are all about in NCOBRA in terms of self-determination. So at this time, I'd like to introduce our commissions. I'm not sure if everyone is here, but I do see several of the commissioners. And as Brother Rashawn was explaining, the commissions are our work. These are our working groups. And so I'm going to introduce them now. Each one will have approximately 10 minutes to give us an explanation of what their commission does, and if there's any special projects that they're working on. If you are a member of NCOBRA, you can join any commission, and we encourage you to do so. The more, the merrier. We can spread this work around. So without any further ado, I'd like to introduce the commissions at this time. And as I said, each will have 10 minutes. If I call a commission and the commissioners aren't here yet, we'll just keep rolling. So our commissions are international, youth, education, economic development, legislation, information and media, health, and legal strategies. Right now, we do not have anyone that is heading our legal strategies. Sister Audra was explaining the history of NCOBRA and the suit that we filed. After that did not go through, we lost a lot of momentum around that. And as a result, we just have not been able to build that. We are looking to form a legal arm of NCOBRA because we feel like we need that to help us. So at this time, I believe the education commissioners are here. And so if one or both of you want to introduce yourself and give us a 10-minute update, we appreciate it.
Sister Taiwo. Sister Taiwo Kujitabalia Saitu. I am the female co-chair of the Education Commission. And we are, our goal, one of our goals is to educate or look at ways we can educate members of our community about reparations and what reparations means and what it is. What does full repair mean and what does that look like and all the forms that it can take. Another one of our goals that we're working on is developing down payment demands that are specific to education and what does that look like. And when the Economic Development Commission speaks, they'll speak to our down payment demands. But when the Economic Development Commission was founded in 1999, one of the things that we were tasked with was to figure out what down payment demands for reparations should be and what should it look like and what form should it take. And so for the Education Commission, we're looking at what forms should the down payment demands take that are specific to education, whether that is funding for African-centered schools, whether that's funding for HBCUs, what are educational programs that we can spearhead to educate our community about economic self-sufficiency, whatever it is, but what are some of those things that are education specific that we can look at as down payment demands, and then how do we as a people educate ourselves and each other? So that's those are the primary focuses of the Education Commission. Many of us are educators, but if you just have a passion for education, you can join this commission. You do not have to be an educator by trade to be on the Education Commission. And Brother Woolard, did I leave anything out?
No, sister, I don't think you left anything out. I think you covered everything. And just so that it'll seem like I'm actually doing something too, I'll just say that education is so broad that that we're all doing. The reparations movement is not only is about action, but it's also about education. And that's one of the reasons why NCOBRA styles itself as a mass-based organization, because we want to do that education for engagement. And we are, as a committee, we are open to the assistance, but as also the ideas of commission members as we think about, what and how we might be able to more effectively, do this work. So please, if you have an interest or an idea, join with us. We are also very aware of the need for us as the Education Commission to collaborate and cooperate with the other commissions, along with everybody and everything else. But I'll just end by saying I have been on the commission for a little while, and I really appreciate the opportunity to work and collaborate with Sister Taiwo. So come and join us, and we can take it from idea to implementation. So we're open for, we're open for questions or comments. And Sister Mashariki, let folk know generally what actions they should take if they're interested in being engaged.
Also, be sure to put all questions in the chat and the Q&A at the bottom, please, so the panelists can see.
Right, that would be one place in the chat. You can indicate your interest in any of the commissions as we make the presentations.
That is true. And we'll do question and answers at the end, Brother Wood. So if as we go through it, make sure you remember your question, and we'll go there. Again, if you are a member of NCOBRA, you can join any commission, and just contact us or put it in the chat right now, and we'll get it going. I just received last night a notice about an African-centered school conference that's going on as we are actually having ours. So, that happens so many times. But if there's anyone out there that's in the African-centered school movement, homeschool movement, we would really encourage you to join us so that we can proceed, because we're all about self-determination and attempting to give our people alternatives to this system that doesn't work for us. So Asante Sana, the Education Commission, I think particularly since we had mentioned the Economic Development Commission, Brother Uruka and Sister Diana May are the co-chairs of that. And if you could give us 10 minutes of update, we would appreciate it. Okay, I see Brother Uruka, you're muted.
Good morning.
Okay.
Okay. And let's see. All right. Okay. I'd like to thank everyone. First of all, I'd like to thank Queen Mother and Brother Cam for allowing the Economic Development Commission to present at this time. I am the co-chair of the Economic Development Commission, and we also have Sister Diana, who's also the co-chair. And as you can see, give you a little bio about myself. I am owner of the Emotion Books and Products in Lafayette, Louisiana, and also work as a compliance auditor with the state of Louisiana. So what we'll go through and just kind of give you an idea of what the Economic Development Commission is all about. Let me go ahead and go to the next slide. Sister Diana, are you on right now?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Would you like to share something about yourself right now before we move into the next slide?
Yes, just a little bit. I'm Diana Kimball. Was in Dallas for a long time. I forgot how many years member. Right now I'm in from Ghana, West Africa. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm seeing all kind of stuff pop up here, so I want to make sure we still had Wi-Fi. We're going through a little thunderstorm. It's a rainy season, so we've been losing connection with Wi-Fi and electric all morning. It's afternoon here now. It's 4:33 p.m. So we're a little bit ahead of you all. And I still would like, will be promoting NCOBRA and reparations here in Ghana.
Okay. All right. So here's the basis of the Economic Development Commission. As you can see, the origin of the Economic Development Commission was, as I stated, is a brainchild of our ancestor, Dr. Mario Bedelli. And the purpose was to make sure that we did the necessary outreach to community, to the Black community in terms of coming up with reparations proposals dealing with the injury areas. And as you can see, there was 3 objectives that we have as the Economic Development Commission. As one, help spread the word of reparations in NCOBRA, consult with communities to determine their views about what should be included in equitable reparation remedy, determine how reparations and our own resources can accelerate the repair of our people. So it was Dr. Amari's vision that we would actually reach out to the various organizations and so forth, so they could have input in determining what forms of reparations to take place in. So we set up one of the things that we did to actually do it was to basically have representatives from different organizations to become part of the Economic Development Commission. And one of the outreach work that we did, as was mentioned by Sister Taiwo, was to come up with a survey dealing with the 6 down payment demands. And this is a short version of it. I know that yesterday we've been playing it, but one was to come up with $10 billion for 10 regional campuses. The second one was a $1 billion economic development fund. The other one, the third one was $25 per family, or the present day equivalent of 40 acres and a mule. The fourth, immediate release of all political prisoners. And we during the town hall meeting, we had Sister McKenzie talked about this, that dealing with the political prisoners. Then the fifth one was release of other prisoners who have been in prison for 2 or more years, who have not committed any heinous crime and are drug free. And what's so unique about this one, we were looking in terms of where we would actually set up community parole boards to deal with this matter as well. And the sixth one dealing with $1 billion for Black farmers. So right now, as it stands right now, the Economic Development Commission is looking to revise this survey in terms of dealing with the 5 injury areas as it pertains to right now. And we're actually soliciting input from our commissions as well as anyone else that may want to become part of the Economic Development Commission. Okay, now the next slide that I have is when we talk about economics, I always use the reference of Dr. Amos Wilson. This comes from Falsification of African Consciousness and Blueprint. And essentially, we have to have a clear understanding when we talk about economics. We look at an economic system like it's stated, like any other social system. Any other social system is a systematic way people choose to relate to each other. Thus, it's not the lack of money. So we know right now we have $1.2 trillion in disposable income. And this is not the root, as I said, that's not the root cause of our unstable economic system for Black, but it is the lack of engaging in organized social relations of exchange with each other based on mutuality of interest, purpose, values, taste, means of production, and functional level of trust and fidelity. And essentially, we look at that, and in red, you see peoplehood and nationhood. And that was one of the things that was brought up during the town hall meeting where we're talking about our identity, the entry that has been done to our identity and culture. That was an issue in terms of what is our direction? What is our direction in terms of what we want to become, if we want to become a more self-determining people? So that's the question, and this happens to somehow impede our progress in fully getting engaged in economic development because of those relationships that we have as it stands today. Okay, now here are some of the things that we are doing. We do have a Black Fridays campaign that we're reviving stuff right now, and we are basically trying to get our people to patronize Black-owned businesses and so forth. And as you can see, I had one reference to the buyblackmovement.com. This is a Black distribution channel that have over 100 products that we could actually partake in. I am right now, I'm a current supporter of, I receive items every month. So this is one, and then I would also like to share the, let me see if I could do this. Well, I mean, I have time to do this, but so that's one project that we have, the Black Fridays campaign, and then we will be conducting our surveys, and this is generally where we're looking to get feedback on the on reparations proposals, because this is our outreach. And one of the things that we see as a commission, that we want to serve as a think tank to our board and as we continue with the reparations movement. The other thing we're looking at is to recruit members from local organizations and networks with community organizations or co-ops, like we gave an example, like the Legacy Farming and Health Group. And basically what it is that, brothers and sisters, we have models in our community, and we just need to tap in. We need to make sure we are properly networking as best as we can. Because one of the things that we talked about yesterday was in terms of, if we want to get people to basically be engaged, we have to be able to show the models. And this is one of the things that I take from the teachings of Dr. Amos Wilson, is that we have to have the models in place to do this. The next one is display a listing of Black-owned businesses on the NCOBRA website. We want to basically be able to have Black businesses that are endorsing the reparation movement. So we want to bring them into the fold and understand that they have a place at the table to basically make recommendations and so forth. And the next one is to conduct regional meetings. And what this entails is something that we did in the past, where we actually went to different cities to kind of promote the work of the Economic Development Commission. The next one is to raise the level of consciousness, because that's one of the things that we were talking about with Dr. Raymond Winbush had basically mentioned, that we need to make sure that we have people reading each day. So we want to make sure that we tell our brothers and sisters that they need to read, and then we want to make sure they want to patronize these local Black bookstores. And so definitely want to work and eradicate, as I say, eradicating any inappropriate behavior. And the last one is to conduct financial literacy classes. And this is to deal with when we have different business professionals and so forth, scholars, activists, dealing with Black economic development. This year we had 2 sessions with Brother John Jameson from Princeton, Indiana, and it was one was using agriculture as a basis, as a foundation to grow our communities and so forth. And then the last thing we want to do, I have this is our suggested reading list. So this is just something that we'll put out there, because this is our contact information, because I know I'm out of time right now. There's more to say about it, but we definitely want people to become part of the Economic Development Commission. We have established our meeting at which is the 3rd Monday of every month at 7:30 Central Time, and there's a lot to be said to it. And I thank you for allowing me to present this information.
Well, Asante Sana, we really appreciate having that, and hopefully people will sign on. As the brother said, he's bringing back the Black Fridays campaign, because it has been a campaign that's been with NCOBRA for quite a while. I have been practicing it the entire time. So what does that mean? On Fridays, I only spend my money with Black people. What does that mean in terms of, being able to do that? If I need gas, I have to get it on Thursday. And then what it also means is that there are certain items that I might need that I realize that we do not have any sources from Black people to get those. So those are opportunities. And so I think our Economic Commission is going to keep us abreast of those things, and hopefully we can move forward. Everybody can do Black Fridays. To be honest, I try to buy Black most of the time, but on Fridays, and everybody knows in my family, that's what I do, and I support that. Now, the other side of that, and I hope, Brother Yuko, you all are dealing with that, is accountability. So if we support Black businesses, then they have to be accountable to the community. And so hopefully that will be part of what they're dealing with. So we really appreciate that.
Well, Queen,
yes.
can I say this real quick?
Sure.
So one of the things that we're trying to do to kind of deal with what you just mentioned is we're actually working to have these businesses to become part of NCOBRA. So recently we have 3 businesses that have taken out membership in NCOBRA. So this is the thing that we're doing, and making them part of the Economic Development Commission as well. Great.
And all of our local chapters should be supportive of that and buy into that. So Asante Sana. Could we have legislation? I thought I saw Brother Cam, Sister Kenneth, give us a small update. Although if you were here yesterday, you got a full dose of what's going on with legislation. But if you could just briefly give us an update, we would appreciate it.
Legislative Commission, as Queen Mother said, if you were anywhere in the house on yesterday, you probably got a real good plate of what we do. I take my marching orders from the mission statement, and mission statement is that the Legislative Commission will develop and or build strategies that focus primarily on the passage of HR 40 and also the Senate Bill 40. And this will happen through its legislative efforts, its ongoing outreach to encourage federal, state, and local municipalities to adopt resolutions and bills in support of reparations, and ultimately the passage of HR 40 / Senate Bill 40. Some of the things that the Legislative Commission has been doing and continues to do. If you join the Legislative Commission, we make sure that you are familiar with the ins and outs of the Legislative Commission and process and procedures. We actually have developed a training tool to do that. We also make sure that you are aware of what has to happen on the Legislative Commission side as far as outreach is concerned. And it's a lot, and it is all interactive because you're lobbying. So you're making phone calls. And interestingly enough, I keep encountering people who are not comfortable making phone calls. Just take the leap and don't even look back. You have to send out emails. You have to make visits. When there's no COVID-19, I spend a lot of time on Capitol Hill, walking in and out of congressional offices. I usually carry NCOBRA's HR 40 primer. I drop it off. I try to have NCOBRA ink pens. I drop them off, none of which has any value because, you know, you can't leave anything that has real value. Try and get FaceTime with the LDs and chief of staff and whomever is available so that I can talk about NCOBRA and our mission and how they can be helpful to the passage of HR 40. We often schedule briefings with congressional elected official staff members. And we talk to them about why it's important for their member to come on board as co-sponsors to HR 40. And most recently, I found that I've been dancing in the lion's den because we do need some level of bipartisan support. So in the past couple of weeks, we've been meeting with Republicans. And again, interestingly enough, there are a lot of folk who just cannot bring themselves to interact with Republicans. Sadly, but it is true, we do have to just, again, suck it up and make it happen. Social media, in the last 9 months or so, we've gotten involved with using social media as an outreach tool. And I have to admit, the first time I did a social media event, I had no idea what Twitter was. I stayed up all night long reading about Twitter. But I had already put it out there as an action day. So now I'm pretty good with Twitter. Another social media tool, Clubhouse. Someone asked me to help them with Clubhouse. I had no idea what Clubhouse was. And now when I see anything that's talking about reparations, I jump on. So you have to just be willing to, you just have to be willing to take the leap. We also have developed a lobbying package. So anyone in the regions who wants to go to Capitol Hill and lobby, we actually can send you our package. I have actually met, I've actually met NCOBRA members on the Hill, and I have accompanied them on their lobbying efforts. So I would say to you, definitely, please come over. We'd love to have you working on the Legislative Commission side. It is an interesting ride. There's nothing that's ever boring about it. You'll always have a new experience or a few new experiences. But when you're done, at the end of the day, you will know, if you're of that mindset, you will have learned so much about the not just the legislative process, but the political process also, what happens with the political machinery. Sometimes I have had to resort to, as an outreach effort, we've had to resort to going on the air and doing interviews. And most recently, I've had the unique pleasure of being able to identify some of our holdouts who've now come on board as co-sponsors for HR 40 and or S40. And we've actually been able to give them the recognition that they so richly deserve. So that's a day in the life of anyone on the Legislative Commission. Again, love to have you. Just don't come saying I'm shy. You're not going to be shy for more than a minute, because all of these are things that have to be done in order to be able to get HR 40 over the finish line. And I just want to say, currently we have 190 co-sponsors on the books. We have 5 co-sponsors who come from districts where it would be political suicide if their name showed up on the list. However, they've committed to, if we get a vote to the floor, they will indeed cast a yay vote. So we have about 195 co-sponsors. We need about 215 co-sponsors to comfortably be able to push the whip and to say we're ready to go to the floor for a floor vote. So this is a great time for you to come and join us and help us to get those final 15, 18 co-sponsors, and then move to the Senate side and do what's necessary on the Senate side to try and push it over the finish line. Now, I have to tell you, chances of pushing it over the finish line on the Senate side, not as great, but it's not impossible. We're going to have to get a 60 yay vote majority. Right now, we have 23 co-sponsors on the Senate bill, which is not bad. And to be honest, we have not done as much. We've not focused and concentrated as much on the Senate side as we have on HR 40 side. And HR 40, of course, because it has such a personal meaning to us. We started off with HR 40, and for me, anyone who knows me knows I'm do or die. I'm pushing to get HR 40 across the finish line. So, Brother Cam, whatever I missed, help me out.
Thank you, Sister Candace. And you did a great job representing what NCOBRA's primary mission is legislatively, and that is to push a federal bill across the finish line. And that bill is HR 40 and S40. But, you know, we also need a tremendous amount of action and members to join the Legislative Commission because of what we're doing on the local level across the country. Cities, every other day we get in the city to call us and ask us for assistance. That's why we crafted the laying the foundation for local reparations. It would be excellent, as it was in Amherst. We had an NCOBRA chapter and an NCOBRA member there to fully engage in that process. And that's why the Amherst with Sister Kathleen city was able to get that resolution passed as fast as it was, because we had an NCOBRA member who was skilled, qualified, and knowledgeable on the ground. And as we get these requests from around the country, we would like to be able to also put an NCOBRA member in the mix. And so we're not doing everything from the centralized level with the Legislative Commission. We have chapters and members on the ground in those cities helping to lead the way. We'll do all the training. You don't have to worry about that. Kenneth and I and others on the Legislative Commission right now, we'll do the training. We'll make sure you're equipped and knowledgeable to be able to engage in the legislative process in any city, any state in the country. So we need members to join the Legislative Commission because there's so much work that's being done in this country legislatively at this time. And I'll just stop there.
Well, Asante Sana, and I hope that people will see the need to join the Legislative Commission. Even if you don't, what we need you to do is to pick up the phone and call. Brother Cam and Sister Kenneth has done a tremendous job. We are so much further along with HR 40 getting it's at the door. All they got to do is open it up. And it is because of the work that our commissioners have done. And again, they need our help. You know, the reason so many other groups get the attention that they do is because collectively they make those calls. Collectively, they shoot those emails to those representatives showing their support or discontent. And we have to start doing the same thing, brothers and sisters. So what I would like to also share with you, if you have noticed, we have a male, female for each of our commissioners, as well as our national office. And that was deliberate. Our founders deliberately wanted a balance. And so that's why you are seeing the balance with the co-chairs. So Asante Sana. And so next, if we can get possibly the Youth Commission. I thought I saw Sister Lily X, Brother Jabbar. If you could give us an update.
Hello, peace. How are you all?
Greetings, good day.
And I believe Brother Jabbar is here as well. But we're kind of gonna just go, I guess, over the technical qualifications of the Youth Commission, and then I will circle back and kind of talk specifically about some of the projects and collaborations that the Youth Commission has coming up, even starting with our panel discussion and keynote tonight with Brother Ben X from the Nation of Islam. So, oh, I see Brother Jabbar. Peace.
All right, so I'm going to start quickly with a quote from our keynote speaker 2 years ago, 2019 in Detroit, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And he said, when you get to these ages, you got to think a lot about mortality. What am I going to leave behind for another generation? Some of us are so envious of young people that if we see that they have something to offer, instead of helping them, we try to crush them. Those are sick elders that need to either change or die. I'm not upset over young people. I am happy to see a young vessel that is maybe a quarter full, that I can pour something into that vessel as I leave the planet, knowing that time marches. God marches with time. And if you march with God and with time, you'll always be relevant, no matter how old you are. I have a lot of young people around me. When I can look in organizations and see the bald and the gray and the toothless, and I don't see the young people in the organization, then the organization will die when we die. If you're not attractive to young people, check yourself. Young people know that old people get old, and if they don't know, all that they got to do is just keep breathing. And as the saying goes, you'll understand better in the by and by. Young people will follow us if they know that we are for their success, and we are willing to share with them the knowledge of our life experience so that they won't make the same mistakes that we have made starting from scratch. Church is dying. Don't tell me you're the UNIA or Universal Negro Improvement Association started by Marcus Garvey and you don't have young people. Marcus Garvey is alive. If we are alive, we're with him. He didn't come with an old philosophy. He came with a living teaching. So the next time you go to church or go to the mosque or go to your organization meetings, look and see who you're talking to. Some toothless person whose breath is not too nice to smell? I'm sorry. I'm trying to tell us that you should be all around us. That's the way that the reparations movement will never die. And so with those words, I'm just going to read from the NCOBRA National Bylaws, Policies and Procedures Manual about what the Youth Commission is. The focus of the commission is to organize and mobilize young community reparation activists and assist them with identifying and tapping into resources available to our communities that aid in healing injury areas identified by the NCOBRA Litigation Committee. Goals one is to raise awareness, participation, and youth involvement of youth in the reparations movement. 2, to serve as an umbrella coalition for youth and youth organizations and create a structured process for collegiate and grassroots community activists to work in the reparations movement. Objectives: 1, identify, organize, mobilize college students as college reparationist activists. 2, identify, organize, mobilize community grassroots organizers as reparations activists. 3, coordinate national organizing activities that facilitate achievement of goals and objectives, reparations ribbons, database, communications, website training, etc. And last objective is conduct annual youth summits to validate organizing strategies and encourage active participation in the decision-making process. Thank you, Sister Lynn.
Peace, Ashe. No, thank you for that. So with that being said, I kind of want to just disclose some things that the Youth Commission has been working on, and basically what we plan to continue working on moving into 2022 and the remainder of 2021. So as I stated before, tonight, we are looking forward to having a very powerful and dynamic keynote from Brother Ben X from the Nation of Islam, Fruits of Islam. He has over 300,000 followers on his Instagram alone. He has a very big following on his Facebook as well. And so this partnership is definitely going to be very useful. But it's also, I mean, at the end of the day, it's kind of like a family reunion. So we're looking forward to kind of combining the values that we know and share with the nation, and raising a child in the way that they should go, and kind of spreading that throughout the message of NCOBRA's Youth Commission, based off the keynote that we had from Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan 2 years ago, I believe, in 2019. And so that is kind of where the mission of the revamping of the Youth Commission came from, of what our specific focus was going to be moving forward for reparations. Again, with that being said, we are open to kind of non-traditional, unconventional measures that we may not have tried before, such as reaching out to musical and recording artists and other public figures who have an interest in reparations. They may just need some more education around that. And the NCOBRA Youth Commission is positioning ourselves along with partnering with Information and Media Commission, and we hope to partner with the Education Commission to, again, create curriculum that we can, again, distribute to individuals that would want to be a reparations ambassador on behalf of the Youth Commission. Again, to help increase our social media presence and kind of just start doing some of the boots on the ground work that we need. And so the Youth Commission plans to, throughout the remainder of this year, and especially moving into early 2022, connect with all the other commission leaders and see how our commission can best support and be of camaraderie in the movement work, such as we will definitely need to make sure that all our messaging and any information that we put out is in unison with and in tandem with what the Legislation Commission has going on. So we are very excited. We are very fired up and ready to roll. And we look forward and hope that some of these larger collaborations and partnerships will help will help not only with the exposure of NCOBRA, but it'll also excite youth and kind of give some legitimacy to the movement and kind of move it past just hashtags and into something that can be seen as an actual tangible movement for our young people. So I will pass it back to Brother Jabbar to kind of talk further about specifically how we will do that. You're on mute, brother.
Excellent. Am I on? Mic check. And so we will be using SNCC, the Southern Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, as a training tool over the next year for political education and to help organize and mobilize. We will be hosting our bi-weekly calls on the second and fourth Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Feel free to share your email in the chat if you are interested in being a part of the Youth Commission and be a part of these bi-weekly Tuesday calls on the second and fourth week, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time p.m. We look forward to working with college campuses to open more chapters of NCOBRA. We're looking forward to work with Black student unions, the Pan-Hellenic Council, as well as Black student governments on college campuses. We will be talking about a divestment plan, about how that we can spend less money with our oppressors and how we can spend more money in our own community. And we are excited to be coordinating with the Philadelphia NCOBRA chapter on that under Brother Ari Moretazan's leadership of the divestment plan. We do look forward to working with the Executive Council on 2 properties that may be purchased in the South, and the young people can take a big part of making that successful. I did mention in the description of the Youth Commission that we are to have an annual summit for our Youth Commission. That was something that we'll be looking forward to working towards as well. And lastly, we'll be looking to increase our youth database, living up to what our great giants, our ancestors, Imari Obadeli and Queen Mother Audley Moore, who did great works around reparations and supporting young people. So tonight we will be giving away 2 awards to 4 awardees in regards to those awards for commitment to reparations and commitment to young people who are fighting for reparations in the name of Imari Obadeli and in the name of Queen Mother Audley Moore. So thank you so much. We're happy to take any questions if you have any.
Yes. We will take questions at the end. Asante Sana, Brother Jabbar, and Sister Lily X. And I would like to say that you don't have to be a young person to be on the Youth Commission. They welcome. And I know a lot of organizations are saying we need young people. Well, I tell you, you bring young people in, you better hold on because they got a lot of energy and they move fast. And we are very fortunate to have the young people that we have, including Brother Rashawn, as we have seen him yesterday and today. So they definitely bring value to NCOBRA, and we're looking forward to the work that they are going to do. One thing that Sister Lily X mentioned that I also want to reiterate, there's interaction with interconnection with the commissions. So, you know, commissions just don't stand alone. And I believe she was sharing working with some of the various commissions, as well as I think economic development did the same thing. So we're all connected here because again, this is the work of NCOBRA. So Asante Sana.
Queen Mother.
If we could bring forth, I believe I saw, yes, oh, I'm sorry.
Can I say one last thing? Just that
Sure.
we do classify youth as 30 and under. As to your point, young adults is probably a better term, or youth and young adult commission is a better term. Of course, you can be a part of the youth commission if you are over 30, but we do classify young people when we call all young people 30 and under specifically, but feel free for everybody that wants to support this commission to join.
Okay, did you say that because you passed the 30 age, brother?
No, well, no, I guess I could say it for that reason, but specifically, youth or young adults hear the term youth and they don't want to be
Yeah,
involved.
I
They're
understand.
too grown to hang out with high schoolers, they think, so a young, that is a important classification or categorization that we respect their adulthood.
Okay.
Still, maybe in that warrior stage or in that youthful stage where they are developing into those great nation builders as we proceed up our rites of passage programs and traditions of our elders.
And wonderful.
And
And
I said I will join.
Young people of NCOBRA, YPN, that's something that we're playing with. Young people of NCOBRA. That's something we're playing with that. So.
All righty. All right. Maybe you all can find some of those techies to do the boom for us.
I like that, boom.
Yeah. And an inside joke kind of, Brother Shabaka told me this morning, he has heard your speaker that's coming. He thought he was very impressionable. So I just thought y'all might needed that information.
Excellent, thank you.
Okay. We're gonna move on. I believe Sister Fatima is with us with the membership commission.
Yes.
Okay, 10 minutes, please, and welcome. And if you could just share briefly the goals of the membership commission.
Greetings, and I'm happy to be here. The Membership Organizational Development Human Resources Commission is extremely vital to every other operation that we have in NCOBRA, because we have to keep track of our members. Members bring in dues, so it affects the commission, it affects the organization financially. Also, it takes bodies to help get legislation passed. So therefore, we got to support Sister Kenneth. All of this hinges on the infrastructure of our membership within the organization. So what Brother Kamal, who has been like Atlas carrying the world on his own shoulders up until now, has done, has found a way for us to revamp our membership committee so that we can help the overall organization work more effectively. So we created a team to try to work to help get our data information up to date. That really is our goal for after the convention. We want every single person located with the right phone numbers, the right addresses. And I noticed personally in going over the membership to try to help pull this together, some of our people are not even living anymore. So what we're gonna do is revamp that. We've also brought in to our team, Brother James Rogers, the Southeast region, to help with human resource asset mapping. We have a lot of talent in NCOBRA that's being untapped simply because we don't know who they are. And even though they hold a membership, they're not plugged in. So we intend to get that corrected immediately. We also have accomplished establishing the team, which didn't exist before now. The other thing that I would like to say, and this is on behalf of the needs of the entire organization, is that in February, after 30 years of struggle, HR 40 finally got out of the Judiciary Committee and is very close to actually being eligible to get on the floor of Congress. What we've basically been doing is advocating and promoting HR 40. We can't just do that anymore. We have to launch a full-scale campaign So our legislative commission and membership commission, I think, are going to have to work closer together. Not that they haven't been, but the point of it is this: we have to prioritize what is going to get this done. So we've gone through a growth spurt in the numbers of members that we have, and also we've entered a growth spurt into the kind of talent that's available. So that is our goal, is to support the rest of the organization by creating a strong infrastructure that will not collapse the building, so to speak. So we will have also something in writing that spells this out more distinctly very shortly. And I just want to say that I appreciate the privilege of being able to serve in NCOBRA on the commission. I'm new as of January 30th. So I'm happy to meet and greet everybody. And let's go get it done. Love you.
Sante Sana, love you also. And in case some of you may not have heard, Sister Fatima's counterpart is Brother Kamal Juwanza. And we welcome her back. She claims she's new, but she has been with us before. And so I'd like to say to various ones listening to us, if you have been a member before and you have kind of dropped off, come on back. We need you. So Asante Sana, Sister Fatima. At this time, I believe Brother Onaje and is on. And so the Health Commission, which is Brother Onaje and Sister Makimba.
All right, so I'm going to acknowledge Baba Leonard Dunstan, the elder, my teacher who is on the call, and also acknowledge Queen Mother Randall, who I'm not sure if she's here, but an elder who has written Dying While Black. So I'm trying to share my screen with the PowerPoint. As you know, sometimes doesn't give you immediate access, so I'll just speak through it. And that is to say, our work has been going on for a year. Some of you who are coming to this conference for the first time, learning that the Health Commission is the newest of the commissions that the convention voted into existence last summer.
Actually, you could move to the next commission, but I did just want to say that I was had some things that happened in my family that sort of knocked me off center from the direct work with the commission, but definitely with the Health Commission, but definitely that certainly affects the Health Commission. And that had to do with the unexpected death of my brother. And it was through what they call the health care system and how they even define it. And after I went through the shocking death with him, in which they basically reamed a ventilator down his throat without giving him any kind of anesthesia. I didn't even really want that done, but we were ambushed when he was in the hospital. We were only there 2 hours before he was gone. And I went from that to then having some family members within a couple of weeks being hospitalized with COVID-19 and then being prevented from even being able to go to see them. And that is certainly no way at all for any kind of medical institution to proceed, period. And especially for our communities, we need to be there. We need to see what is going on. And then to go from that to just have another comrade again being put on a ventilator. And, you know, for me to learn that there are definitely other non-invasive modalities that can be used. And so these are some of the challenges that I've begun working on and facing. And definitely this is about the work of the Health Commission. But like I said, I don't have anything formally on behalf of the commission itself to currently right now present, because this is like my first NCOBRA meeting since this began happening in March and right through May and all of that. But it just makes me reaffirm my dedication to working with health. And the only thing that I could think about when that had happened with my brother is turning this pain into power. And one of the things that is my heart's desire, and I'm sure that it is the desire of the Health Commission as well, is that we have got to get our people to understand we've got to return to the ways of our way of doing things. They talk about science, they euphemistically use the word science. Well, no one from the colonizer ever sat down with our people and talked about objectively comparing the various ways of our way of healing, what they call healing. Basically, this was a system that was forced upon us through the barrel of a gun and brutality. It just was. That's how we came to accept what they call science. And we need to have medical pluralism at least, but we certainly need to understand that when we talk about empowerment, we're not just talking about, I know I'm not the first to say this, but just putting a Black face on a white system. And it's not just about, okay, well, let's just have Black doctors or Black healthcare workers working in their systems. No, we need to be advocating on behalf of our system. We come from a tremendous legacy of healing, and we need to return back to that and advocate for that. So, Brother Najee, if you're ready, you can take the floor again.
Thank you so much,
Sana, sister, for sharing.
Lisa. Thank you, and our condolence goes out to you because you still did as much as you could to keep the commission going. So next slide, please. So we want to dedicate this short presentation to her brother, Michael Davis, as well as African people. And just take a moment of silence for all of us who've lost people through the pandemic, on top of the domestic colonial violence deaths that we experience as a result of being a colonized people. So if we can take a moment of silence. Thank you very much. Next slide. Next slide, please. So the NCOBRA's Health Commission, some of our activities would include recruitment over the last year. We meet the third Saturday of each month. And of course, that was abridged as a result of Lisa's tragedy that she experienced in her family, and me completing my doctorate also kind of kept me in that process and away from meeting every third Saturday, but we want to resume that next month. Another activity we've been involved with is the Board Healing Wellness Retreat, and with Sister Shakira Ali, who was very instrumental in that. And next slide. So using what is called the SOAR worksheet, our strengths would include 1.5 years of the commission's research to guide our direction of the commission. And also the member formation includes 2 chairs. I definitely want to mention Deborah Rice Lamar, who's been really on point and keeping us moving forward. The opportunities we have is that as a startup commission, NCOBRA has ability to do something that has never been done before. And that is, as a new commissioner, we can benefit from all of the years of the experience of the other commissions and make this commission really the premier commission, in that we can use all the experience from before. And because we're a new commission, of course, that gives us the excellent opportunity to recruit seasoned as well as youth health professionals as well, certainly physical and mental health. Next slide. So continue with the SOAR worksheet. Aspirations is to build the commission using a coalition-centric model. What that means is this: we want everyone on our commission to represent an organization. So it's not just that individual, but we are trying to link to organizations so that they can take the word back to those organizations, not just individual. So that's how we're building. I represent my own nonprofit, Wahimi Misu Healing Well. Sister Shakira Ali represents her consulting firm, Alchemy Consultants, and Sister Lisa Oss as well. So we're using a organizational centric model to build out our commission. Results analysis, well, we're still building that, right? We're still building our theory of change using logic models as well as analytics that we are putting together. Next slide, please. So our focus is Black infant and maternal mortality. Why is that so? It's because Black women experience the highest rate, 63% higher rate of what is called severe maternal mortality. And that is to say our women are dying having births. In fact, it's so bad that they're talking about the 4th trimester because so many of our women are dying after the birth of the baby. That's where we're going to start. And of course, we're talking about infant mortality as well. Why is that? Because African Americans have 2.3 times the infant mortality rate of non-Hispanic whites, and African American infants are 3.8 times as likely to die from complications related to low birth rate as compared to non-Hispanic whites. So we know we have to start from the beginning, and that is when our women are pregnant. Next slide. Can you go back to the first slide, please? That we are missing the slide. Keep going back, go back, keep going back, go back. Right here, thank you. Okay, so the commission, as you know, as I had said, started in 2020, and we're putting together our library. What are the keystones? One, we want to use the social health of a nation. Not that it was written for us, but we're going to use it because it's talking about how do a people in a nation secure their social health or their social well-being by Marangolf. It's an essential book for us to have. We also going to ground our work on Dying While Black with our distinguished member of our commission, Queen Mother Randall, and also a former member of the legislative commission, the legal commission, Dr. Fred Newsom, who has written the book, An African Philosophy of Medicine. So I'm consulting with him. That's another main book. And also Planet Hill. Why Planet Hill? Because it has 72 healers from around the country who have given their, chapters on different aspects of health. Once we have that in our homes and we're using it to guide our health, we'll be able to make the health of the members strong enough to actually make the demand. And also we're selling what is called the NCOBRA Know Thyself cards, because we know that we have to know ourselves. That's really what we're talking about. So the commission is based upon the work we've done around membership recruitment, coalition building model. And later on, we're going to talk about the Kenny Kieger project that is saying, okay, let's gather the information so we can fully understand what is called epigenetics, right? The historical transfer of trauma from one generation to the next. And from that, be able to trace it all the way back to the very beginning, because we know that African women coming from Africa come here and have a higher rate of positive birth results. If they stay here a year or two, guess what? They fall right into the lower negative statistics that our women have faced. So we know it's this environment. We're living in a toxic domestic colonial environment. And once our people understand that, we know that we have to move forward. Frederick Douglass said it's the best. It may be a moral struggle, it may be a physical struggle, but it must be a struggle, because without struggle, there will be no progress. So that pretty much concludes my report. Sister Lisa, anything that you want to add that I've left out?
I just want to say thank you so much, Brother Najee, for that excellent report. One of the things that we also want to do within the commission is we want to be able to build advocacy networks, so that if any of our people are in any of these so-called health institutions, regardless of whether they want to use naturopathic, holistic, or even allopathic, that we want to be able to make sure that we have support systems for them, just people on the ground. We know that when we have to go to court for whatever, we know we build up our team, and we make sure we try to have people in the courts, and we want to also mirror that when it comes to the healthcare system. And basically, you just have to have a heart. You can be a professional in the medical profession, or just somebody who cares. And we are all healers to a certain extent. We are here because we've touched people. people raised us, hugged us. Those are things that are vital to our growth. And I just wanted to touch on a couple of things. I was very, very impressed by what happened yesterday. I thought it was dynamic and excellent. And I remembered being very touched when the young sister was talking about the work that she was doing with the University of Pennsylvania, and how she mentioned that her ancestors have a horrible connection, in that people from the University of Pennsylvania were some of her enslavers, the enslavers of her ancestors. And what we have to remember is that same system that produces enslavers of our ancestors, that helps to produce the police, is also the system that produced the hospital system. And Brother Naji, when you were giving your report and you were talking about the infant mortality rate, I'm sure we have heard of the reports about how Black babies do not have as high of a survival rate when their doctors are white. So the same kind of system that we see in the police, it might have a slightly different approach, but they gave us the same system. They gave us the healthcare system, the system that gave us the police system. And I just know I've had personal dealings with the University of Pennsylvania hospital system. Just to remind people, if they're not aware, you may have heard about the remains of some of the people who were bombed in that horrible MOVE bombing. Well, the University of Pennsylvania had some of their remains, and they were working with them in conjunction with Princeton University. So we can just see how deep this is, and how empowerment has to be about control of our own systems and our own ways of doing things. So I just wanted to add that, and thank you again.
Asante Sana, to you both, Sister McKemba. We all hope you accept our condolences for your loss and your grief. I say we have a collective grief because we all have gone through so much. Brother Najee, we'd like to celebrate you and your doctorate. I know you've worked hard, and so we appreciate the work that you're doing. We created the Health Commission a few years ago because health is one of our injury areas.
Yes.
So we thought we needed a working group so that we can bring to our people the most current information. I would like to suggest those books that you had mentioned, that they become part of that reading list that Brother Yuka is working on, so we can have a collective reading group for our people. So Asante Sana.
Also, if I could just mention just one other thing real quickly, because this is part of turning this pain into power, because that's the first message that came to my head with my brother. I just remember being there. Like I said, they were coming at us with so much. I didn't have enough information to even make a suggestion about an alternative to ventilators. And I said, I'd go on their backs. I mean, not on their backs, but if they put them in a prone position, that can help them. And I remembered I said to the doctor, whose name I don't remember at the time, but I said, can't you turn him over on his side? And she looked at me and just talked down to me and was like, I'm practicing medicine, which was so condescending. But anyway, and then she did what she did, and he was dead within 5 minutes of her doing what she did. However, I wanted to say that because I remembered that I had read that, I went home and I began to do research. And I found out that there are alternatives to these mechanical ventilators, which are so harsh. They are so harsh on people. We don't have a good survival rate. But one of the two of the alternatives that I learned about was high flow nasal cannulas and helmet ventilators. China has been using high flow nasal cannulas. In fact, the University of Chicago had been using them as well, and also helmet ventilators. So there are other models that can be used, and we have to know about that, but it just doesn't promote that. And we have to make sure that our people know that when we go into these places, that we are empowered with knowledge that will help us to make much more informed decisions, because I had nothing to offer my brother that day when they said.
I hear you. Sante Sana. Again, our extreme condolences.
Thank you so much.
We need to move now. Is anyone from the International Commission, Brother Morgan or Sister Fatima? Are you on the call? I didn't see you. Okay, maybe they'll be on later. And so the last commission that we're going to present is media and information. Before we go there, let me at least explain to you that our international commission, even though NCOBRA works with reparations for descendants of enslaved people here in the US, we also connect with other reparations groups around the globe. And we try to be supportive in any way that we can. They may come and give you an update. But if you're interested in international affairs, particularly around reparations in Africa and the Caribbean and all over really, please think about joining that commission. And so if media and information, this will be our last commission, and we'll take a few questions if we have them, so we can move on. And that is Sister Violetta and Brother Kepler.
Okay, we're here.
All righty, you're on.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing today?
Excellent.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. I'm Sister Violetta Cullen, calling from Chicago in the Information and Media Commission. And I'm going to start by saying this is our charge, what we are supposed to do. We serve as the official organizational link in the dissemination and exchange of information on NCOBRA policies, reparation issues, strategies, and actions for winning reparations that are important to African descendants in the U.S. and the diaspora, assist in educating NCOBRA members and the general public about our just demands, and assist in the development of a mass base of support of reparations. We work in conjunction with the Education Commission, the Youth Commission, and the Membership Commission to make sure that all of our members stay informed. And we are in charge of things like this project, this program, this convention, and all of our technical trainings. We have most recently done trainings with the membership of NCOBRA on Twitter and Zoom, and we have a couple of other trainings coming up on Facebook groups and Instagram training. We have about 18 members. We meet on the second Wednesday of the month, and we would like to attract anybody with a technical background, even if you don't have a technical background. This is where you can find out about a lot of things like Twitter, Instagram, Facebook groups, and we would like you to come and join us. We have between 9 and 18 members that regularly meet, and we are looking forward to developing programs like the curriculum with the Youth Commission. And we are talking about how to use social media to broaden our base and our membership. I'm gonna hand it over to my brother, Kefra.
Thank you so much, sis. Greetings, everyone. I'm Kepra. I'm the co-chair of Information and Media. And what Sister Violetta neglected to say is that her and I are both the co-chairs of this national conference / convention. So this event is actually hosted by our commission this year. So thank you all for being here. Thank you all for assisting us by providing your positive, affirming energy. Thank everyone who was in the NCPC, National Conference Convention Planning Committee, for your assistance, for your energy, for your encouragement, for your motivation, because I've only been here in the organization about 8 months. I guess October will be 8 months. Violetta, a little over a year. So, you know, we're coming into this new, trying to reinvigorate and revive a important link to NCOBRA. One of the things that I had made clear on me becoming the co-chair was that information media in the information age, which is what we are in, needs to be the hub where every other commission needs to be connected to. So one thing that we have chosen to put into place is that with information and media, that we now connect with all the other commissions, and we seek out liaisons or people who are connected to the other commission to assist us in getting the information out from your commission. So for example, good example now is there's a brother in the legislation commission, Brother Oz, and he created this excellent HR 40 commercial. I mean, he put it on Instagram, and I shared it on Instagram with the NCOBRA account. I shared it on Twitter. I shared it on Facebook, and he is getting a lot of good response for pushing HR 40. And that's what the Information Media Commission is looking to do. The media component of information and media is something else that we're pushing forward. You have people like Brother Ari Maratazan, who I think he's somewhere around here in the midst. He has several Facebook groups, several. So we definitely need to get our social media presence connected, and we're looking for folks who are already on social media, and we're asking you all to take your social media presence, everything that you're doing now. What we're asking you to do is to channel that energy to push for reparations, nothing extra. Send some stuff, show some stuff, and then, you know, we can make this better for NCOBRA. Because what's really important, especially for young people, if they don't see it, it didn't happen. If they don't hear about it, it don't matter. So we could be doing the best work accurately and factually and be irrelevant to people under 30. It's like, oh yeah, you know, this and that. So all this wealth and knowledge and legacy and tradition that NCOBRA has cannot be wasted because we're not connecting via information and media. Upcoming, we're promoting the monthly webinar where one commission every month will present what they've been doing, how they've been doing it, talk with the public. Again, NCOBRA, premier, mass-based organization, we need to be in touch with the masses. Therefore, to get in touch with the masses, we need to not only be on social media, we need to get our Zoom on, we need to get our YouTube on, we need to get our Instagram on. I'm not doing TikTok. I will defer to Sister Lily X and Brother Jabbar to find me some youth person, do TikTok. I'm not doing TikTok. Sorry, I'm not. I'm good with everything else. I'm not doing TikTok. I got limits. So okay. that being said, it's important that the Information and Media Commission be the hub to get out all these resources, all this tradition. Yesterday, I mean, I'm already, we're going to start an information media podcast network, not just one podcast, a podcast network. And from this point forward, between Sister Nkichi and Sister Adjua and Brother Greg Carr, all these people, they need to be highlighted and known that they are connected to NCOBRA and have contributed to NCOBRA. And I keep saying this, and I can't repeat this enough. If the young people don't see it, it don't matter. Doesn't matter how wonderful it is. And unfortunately, they have relevancy bias. So to combat that, we have to push. So I've been on Twitter, pushing hard, making sure we're doing what we're supposed to do. Pushing the 5 injury areas hashtags, pushing the full reparation hashtag, pushing the 5 forms of reparation hashtag. This is stuff that we talk about or we converse with, and you know, oh yeah, we know that, but we have to make sure everyone else knows that. We have to make sure that the people now who are hungry to connect with reparations now, that's the hot thing, or is this connect? But yo, we've been here. Like we here and we're not going nowhere. And the only way to do that is to connect in a way that's viable. So As Information Media Commission co-chair, I ask anyone and everyone, if you're a social media maven, connect with us. If you're part of another commission and you want to make sure that information gets out, because I'll say it publicly, some people in the other commissions, they're not necessarily as adept. So it's important that even if you join another commission, if you understand that the work of your commission needs to get out, become a liaison for NCOBRA Info and Media Commission. And I'm gonna stop right there. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Asante Sana, we appreciate that. We appreciate all the hard work that you all have put in to make this convention a success.
We're not done.
What'd you say?
We're not done.
Oh, I know.
Right.
I know that. And Brother Kepper is right about the push. He's pushing the board and providing training for us. Of course, we're kicking and screaming, but we're listening, and I think NCOBRA is going to be the better for it. So, Sister Akua in the chat, I realize you're the one that brought up the boom. So this is a wonderful commission for you to be working with. So we might be able to create our own. So
Make it happen. Make it happen.
At this time, I don't know if anyone was able to bring Brother Morgan in, but I need to check with Brother Rashawn. We're over time.
All right. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for that. I apologize for being a little interruptive, but I'll just kind of briefly give you an overview of the International Affairs Commission. I am Morgan Moss Jr. I'm along with Sister Fatima Mayor with the International Affairs Commission of NCOBRA. Just an overview, the international, yeah, am I okay for hearing? The focus of the commission is to work closely with African descendants and supporters of reparations for Africans and African descendants throughout the world, to form relationships with African international activists of reparations. Some of the groups that we're currently working with, the Overheroes in Namibia. We're also connected with the reparation activists in Martinique, also with the in the UK, and online we're working with the CARICOM Commission to identify the needs of individual countries as it regards acquiring reparations. The International Affairs Commission can promote and implement a peaceful environment for international relationship dialogue within the African diaspora reparations movement. The International Affairs Commission's responsibility is to encourage and promote a compassionate attitude, mutual respect, and a desire for understanding African people who are culturally different, although have similar interests. The International Affairs Commission takes the initiative to create the opportunity for international internal reparations by traveling the African diaspora, seeking friendship and alliance between African people and diverse communities by encouraging Africans to go outside of their comfort zone to reach out and share about their experience, cultures, history, and traditional as it relates, as well as to learn about others. The will and decision to reach out to others will, with an open heart, to highlight similarities in fundamental needs, concerns, and values and aspirations is the premises for relationship and friendship that can prepare the way for peace, love, and international reparations implementation. The International Affairs Commission can implement the process of internal reparations by promoting the restoration of the African identity by encouraging people to learn about their true identity and by promoting the appreciation for their African ancestral heritage in culture, language, folklore, and tradition of the African continent and beyond. Malcolm X suggested to be most effective and to be more effective, local and national issues should be internalized. One of the goals of the International Affairs Commission is to internalize NCOBRA. You can reach us at either Morgan Moss or either Fatima to have any interaction or to become a member of the International Affairs Commission. Thanks a lot for your listening. Black Power, peace and love to everyone.
Sante Sanaba. Okay, so Brother Jamoke, who is with our South, it's one of our Southeast regional reps. If you don't mind, you have about 7 minutes to just give us an update on the work that the region is doing and what the region does. Appreciate it.
First of all, greetings and peace and power to everyone. This has been a very dynamic convention so far, and it will continue to be over the next rest of the day and tomorrow. So maybe one of my peers will actually read the actual job description for the regional reps, but primarily the regional reps' main responsibility is developing chapters in their region and nurturing and making sure those chapters that are already in existence continue to thrive and be strong. So at one time, earlier, the Membership Organization Development Commission was speaking earlier. At one time, NCOBRA was very dynamic and had over 8,000 members, and if I believe over 20 city chapters. But right now, the Southeast region covers the states of Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, West Virginia, and Kentucky. And actually, Tennessee is a little weird, but that's actually in the Southwest region. So right now we have 2 active chapters in the Southeast region. That would be the Atlanta chapter and the Miami chapter. We also have been working to put together more officially the Selma chapter, where we do have a lot of members there, and as well as chapters in some other cities that are looking at setting up a chapter. What the Atlanta chapter has primarily focused on, I think the Southeast region, I was thinking about it, if I was to characterize the flavor of the Southeast region, I would like to think of it as being grassrootsy, in the sense that one of the things that the Atlanta chapter primarily does is go to community events, Juneteenth, Malcolm X Festival, Kwanzaa, different community events and festivals, and set up an information table, collect information, share information with people about NCOBRA. In addition to that, we also have been very active on the radio. We have a community radio station in Atlanta where we've been able to do 6-hour-long reparations broadcasts on an annual basis. And as well as that, we also have been sponsoring the Black Talk podcast on Black Talk Radio Network, which is twice a month, the first and third Mondays. The Miami chapter primarily has one of the ways that they engage in community grassroots activism is they do a show and movie once a month to bring people in, and then after the movie have discussions around the movie and its connections to reparations. And another thing that the Miami chapter has done is to go actually feed the homeless once a month. They organize themselves to go out and feed the homeless in the Miami area. And so those are some of the tasks that those chapters do, and as well as we participate in the national campaigns. Earlier, Black Fridays was talked about, the regions participated in that. Earlier, the Legislative Commission talked about organizing to write our Congresspeople and communicate with our Congresspeople. Southeast region has been very active with that. The members of the Southeast region in Miami and Atlanta have been very active with that. And supporting other national initiatives, National Reparations Awareness Day, and other initiatives as well. And I know I'm gonna have to get in touch with my dear sister, Mama Afia, who just mentioned yesterday that she stood up a South Carolina coalition on reparations. So we actually talked yesterday after the convention, and we're gonna continue to talk about how to make sure that that continues to be connected to NCOBRA and the work of NCOBRA. That newly formed coalition, she took advantage of the Juneteenth holiday to put that together. And one of the projects I think that also that Southeast region is very concerned about, is near and dear to our heart, is we have an elder, General Rashid, who lives in Miami, who's been the archivist for the Black Nationalist Movement, specifically for the Republic of New Africa and NCOBRA. And so we're going to work with him to work on preserving and digitizing a lot of his archives. He has papers, he has posters, he has video footage. And so we really want to work on being able to put his archives in a way that can be preserved for generations to come. And so that is another one of the projects of the Southeast region. There's an African proverb that says, General Rashid is 84 now, there's an African proverb that says, when an elder dies, a library burns. And so we're in the age of technology where we don't have to have that library burn. We can have that information passed on to the next generation. So if anyone is interested in, and also any member of NCOBRA who lives in any of those states, if you're interested in setting up a chapter or a study group, you can reach out to me and we can have a conversation. I'll send you the packet of information you need. I'll walk you through the information to help you set it up. I'll even come and visit your city and meet with your potential members and potential people who want to set up a chapter, and just reach out to me. And any member who lives in those states that I just called out, I am your I guess spokesperson. And so you want to reach out to me if you have ideas about supporting NCOBRA, working with NCOBRA, and then I can be your voice and advocate for that. The way that you can get in touch with me, and I'll put my information in the chat, is my email is reparationsj@gmail.com. That's reparations, the letter J, reparationsj@gmail.com. Also, my telephone number direct is 678-437-7882. Again, that's 678-437-7882. And I was just recently reelected at our regional meeting for the next 2-year term. Very much looking forward to getting some young people to come on board, and so we can groom them up to continue the leadership in NCOBRA. I yield back. Thank you for my time.
Asante Sana, thank you very much. And how about the Midwest region? Is Sister Jeanette still on the call?
I am here. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. You have about 7 minutes. About
just
7 minutes to give us an update.
Okay,
sister.
all I'm gonna do is just do me for a minute. But I am so excited about this conference. It's just been so enlightening, so educational. So I'm just elated, This movement has been long for me, long time. Okay, for the Midwest consists of, let me just do the whole region. It's comprised of Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas, Michigan, Minnesota, Missouri, Nebraska, North Dakota, Ohio, South Dakota, and Wisconsin, Cincinnati, Cincinnati, of course, Detroit. I think I covered all of them. I'm not sure. Did I cover everybody, all of them? I think so. Okay, so we only have the Chicago chapter, and we have the Indiana's chapter. Hello? Okay.
Yes, we can hear you, Sister Jeanette. We heard.
We can hear you, Sister Jeanette. You go ahead.
Okay, you all heard everything? Okay. You heard
Yes, so
who all the Midwest region is? Right? Okay. Do I say it again or not?
No, we heard. We heard you, ma'am.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
So the pending chapters are Cincinnati. However, we have some in Cleveland, we have some at-large members that's working diligently with reparations. So I'm just going to go real quick. I'm going to do our minds first. So what we have here, what I've been doing here is the King Fest celebration. Of course, that's the 20-year anniversary, and it was focused on reparation. NCOBRA
NCOBRA, of course, it was the sponsors and the hostess, because I'm the founder of the King Fest, and we had a host of elected officials. We had Dr. Israel, who is certainly looking at the reparation as it deals with the health disparity, who is the he's the president, the CEO of the Milwaukee Health Services and Milwaukee Health Clinic, and Dr. McManus, the mental health. Certainly, I'm a part of that, and we definitely have been discussing reparation around the trauma and mental illness in all of those areas. I'm also a member of NAACP. I'm a board member of NAACP. Certainly, we've been discussing reparation and having meetings for reparation. Had a meeting at the Holocaust Museum, where we had a forum. Brother Cam came from Chicago. We had a forum where I had the Alderman Malele Cox, who is going to reintroduce the slave disclosure bill. Also, I had on there the brother Reggie Jackson, who is the griot for the Holocaust Museum. Had a lot of hosts of people who definitely support reparation. And then I did the 4th day of July, Independence Day, where 21 years I founded with the help of the community, the 4th day of July, and we had it live. We didn't do it virtual. We had it at the park. We usually do it at different parks to educate in the different areas of our community. So, and we do education with flyers, with posters, with video, and all the things that educating people about NCOBRA and where we are at today. And it's ongoing. We did a presentation on I'm trying to say we did one on looking at our disparity as far as what happened in New Orleans. So we had we did a presentation with on reparation as far as I'm trying to go fast and this is not good for me. Okay, so we did the disaster preparedness with the help of the March #3, Minister Farrakhan. Of course, we did disaster preparedness, so that is very important that we trying to take care of ourselves. So we had a debate we do a community brainstorming on reparation, explaining what it is, why it's so important. We did, of course, I worked with the Garvey Fest, the 31 years of the Garvey Fest that I had. They wanted me to do a presentation on NCOBRA and reparation, which went very well. We did a huge education on that. So I'm a part of. So it's so important that we get involved with all of the coalition. And so I'm a part of the Black Health Coalition. I'm a part of Kwanzaa, then NAACP, Garvey Fest, ASCAT. All of these here organizations is so important that we get involved. The Push with Jesse Jackson, and of course NARC. And so I'm involved with a lot. So what I've been doing is educating State Senator Lena Taylor and State Representative Dr. Myers. They have introduced. I had asked them to introduce the bill so that we can have our culture being taught in the public schools. And so we're working on that. We can continue, even though it didn't pass, but the Holocaust, for the Jewish Holocaust, they passed that, and it didn't even happen in the United States. So we're not going to give up. We're going to definitely keep going at that. And then, of course, the Juneteenth, we always have it on Juneteenth, and I did a presentation on the 400 years of terror. I did a presentation, encouraged everybody to go and watch when we went before Congress with Danny Glover and all of them. I asked them to go and make sure that they view that and and everything. So that's exactly okay. So I'm gonna do a report real quick of of the other chapters, Dr. Joanne, the chapter is building up again. And so the only report I have from the other region as a rep is only Dr. Joanne's report. That's the only one I have. And so the other ones, Brother Cam, them from Chicago and Indiana, I'm sure that Sister Marsha Rita will be able to give the report for that. So for Detroit, am I going fast? I'm trying to go fast, so you all excuse me for Detroit. We have for Detroit, and I do have I have like 25 members, and some became members as we talk. As we have in the conference, people are embracing and supporting reparation 100% here. So I work with the young people, and so the young people are definitely on board. Milwaukee for let me see. I got to go down to okay. I'm sorry, for Detroit, for the Detroit chapter that's building again. The Detroit Chapter Commission has developed language for a new city charter, which will be placed on August 3rd, 2021, ballot to be approved by citizens. And the new chapter language include the proposal for reparation to be allocated to citizens via the Human Rights Commission. Program staff of the Museum of African American History in Detroit is consulting with Pan-African nationalist community to launch a series of reparation seminars during the fall of 2021. We have provided a list of publications, study guides, and resources that their staff will volunteer can use to study the history of the reminder. Also, I got to go back. I had met with the state representatives, a state representative, to get them to introduce, we want to set up a reparation task force. And so there, I will report on how that's going and if we can get that passed. And I'm sure we can, because, you know, we're going to work on it real hard on it. So I guess that's it. Sister Marsha Rita and Brother Cam, if you all want to add anything, because I didn't have a report from you all. So, and that's it. How did I do? I was trying to go fast.
You did well.
And I need to say that this is my last report, because my 2 years is up for the Midwest representative, regional representative. So I enjoyed every moment. So because I'm an elder, I've been an elder for a minute, me and Dr. Joanne and we're still going to be on the national as the elders. And I thank y'all so much for your support. And like I said, I eat and sleep reparation. That's all I know. Just trying to make a difference. Thank you all.
All right, Sister Jeanette, and we appreciate that. And we know you do. You also wear reparations. I think some of the very first encounters you and I had, you had outfits with NCOBRA and reparations all written on them. So we know that. And we are here in the Midwest in Indianapolis, Indiana. And what we have been doing is pushing HR 40. We're pushing our members to call. You all may have seen a video last night of one of our members, Sister Beulah, who had done an interview, and she has been very, very helpful in getting our HR 40 yard signs out, contacting individuals and organizations. So we have been busy doing that, and also trying to recruit some young people. So that's what we've been doing here in Indianapolis, and we hope to continue this work and do more. So, Brother Cam, do you have anything to contribute at this time?
Just quickly, that the Chicago chapter was the lead host for a lead planning chapter for the Midwest Regional Conference. That was an excellent conference that was well attended. We, as a chapter, supported Evanston Something just happened.
Okay.
We supported Evanston. I don't know if you can still hear me, but my computer went blank.
Yes, we can hear you.
So we supported Evanston in their work. As a result of that support, the city of Evanston made April 22nd, I think, NCOBRA Day, as a result of our assistance with them working in their reparations program. The national chapter secretary and myself went to Evanston to receive that award. We were the second city in the country to pass local reparations legislation in June of 2020, right after Evanston, in about a month, about six months after Evanston, and about 1 month before Asheville. And we're leading as far as continue to help other cities who want to replicate what we've done. We work very closely with the Legislative Commission in getting co-sponsors. We're like our chapter is like an appendage of the Legislative Commission doing that work. So that's our report.
Thank you so much. And I'd just like to add also that we're pushing the HR 40 bill real hard here. My Congressman Gwen Moore, certainly she signed on immediately of the 4th Congressional. I have had people, our brothers and sisters that supports, that's on the board. I've had them to come to speak, and I've had them on the radio. I just had Sister Kenneth on the radio encouraging the people here in Milwaukee and national people to get involved on WNOV 860, our Black radio station. And I just want to thank Brother Kern. For the last 3 months, he has been pushing the HR 40. He's been giving the number to Paul Ryan and all the ones who has not signed on, and encouraging our people to call in and encourage him to sign on for the HR 40. So we are really working hard here in Milwaukee and in Wisconsin, and I'm holding these people accountable. That's why we elected them. So thank you.
Yes,
thank you all for your report.
Okay, yes, and thank you for your commitment, Sister Jeanette, as we continue to move forward. I would just like to add that even if your congressperson, your representative has signed on, continue to keep in touch with them and push the fact that HR 40 is at the door, and we need them to help get the door open.
And I think she's on the conference, Congressman Gwen Moore. Certainly, I grew up with her, but it's not that. But I work hard on all of their campaigns, and that's why I do that, because I want them to make sure they put reparation on the forefront and do everything they can to get some laws passed so that we can get things done.
Yes, ma'am. So for those of you who may or may not know, you're hearing the regional reports, and if you're in a particular region and you don't have a chapter in your city, all you need is 5 people. And so you get your 5 people together, you can contact membership, organizational development, and you can get a chapter started. So, you know, and even if you don't have a chapter, you can work, you can do the work. And so the 5 people that you choose, of course, have to become members or have to be members of NCOBRA. So is Brother Jahara still with us? He's with the Western region. And even though there's a lot of movement out there, we still need a lot of help. And if he's there,
can you hear me?
Oh, okay, you got it.
Yes, well, first, I'm in the NCOBRA family, and it's so great to see all of you. Start the video. Okay. I think I did it. Okay. It's so great to see all your beautiful faces and feel your incredible spirits as well. Here in the West region, and it covers these states: California, Oregon, Washington State, Nevada, Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado, and also Utah, Montana, Idaho, Wyoming, Hawaii, and Alaska. where our beloved Aruvuche Queen Mother, Ya Ansatua, our great ancestor, was from. And so since I assumed this role again, and actually I was thinking back, I was when I moved from Chicago to California the first time in the 90s, our West Region Rep, Brother Kwame down in Los Angeles, was disqualified at the time, and Baba Hannibal and Mama Janita asked me to be the acting Western Region Rep at that time, and I served in that role until I had to move to New York for economic and housing purposes. And so last year I got back into this role because we hadn't had a West Region Rep since our Baba John Damu passed away and joined the ancestors back in 2013. And I have been encouraging members out here to step up. So last year, and I was glad you all welcomed me back, I thought I could play a role in getting NCOBRA going again as an organization and not just as individuals out west again. And I had these incredible plans, but of course, you know, our plans go by the wayside when, you know, when the divine calls other challenges forward. And so we weren't able to achieve some of the plans we had, but we were able to adjust and do some other work that I think was critical to where we're at now. And that included while we were inside sheltering in place most of this past period, up until the last week or so in California, we were able to contribute to the HR 40 co-sponsors total. And I don't think I've ever made this many calls in my life and sent this many emails as well, because that was my main way of getting with people. We weren't able to have meetings, etc. And so moving forward, what I'm hoping to do over the next year is to, and I put it into 10 points. The first one being identify, recruit, and build a team of 3 to 5 folks initially to help out in this West region, because I know I can't do it alone. It's much too large, and we can do it collectively, but I can't do it alone. We also need to reestablish chapters that we formerly had, and it's really been like a generation ago, to be honest with you, active chapters in Oakland, in San Francisco, and in Los Angeles. And so those would be, you know, we hope to have chapters going in those 3 cities by next June, certified chapters. We also, I'm setting a goal again, because we ought to be able to do this, of signing up at least 100 new individual and family members by June 2022. And to also next encourage and sign up a minimum of 25 organizations in this broad West region, and also 25 business partners to support NCOBRA's EDC renewed Black Friday campaign. In addition, we want to initiate NCOBRA West online gatherings for future development of chapters in a number of cities where we do have a member or 2. And we want to do that online and some limited travel as well, since things are opening up again. We want to have, which we didn't have this past year for a variety of reasons, organize an NCOBRA West region meeting virtually in the spring of 2022, and also use that to recruit at least 25 participants for our 33rd annual convention next June. We want to encourage, orient, and promote youth leadership at every opportunity in leading chapters. And I've already spoken with some of our youth members about this, youth members, and based on what Brother Jabbar said, youthful members too, those under 30, but also those under 40 as well. Raise a minimum of $5,000 to contribute to National NCOBRA, because there's money out in these hills here, and we need to get NCOBRA some of that support as well. And then secure additional endorsers. And this is, like I said, the one place where we had some success of HR 40 and S40 in the West region, particularly here in California. And we're working with Kenneth and some of our members. There have been several who have made calls, and we had some allies join in as well. And I want to particularly highlight a young brother who lives up near the Sacramento area. And he was mentioned by Brother Kepra earlier, Brother Osric Pratt, who was formerly associated with ADOS, but he's a very respectful brother, and he's been doing great work, making calls and around HR 40 and around S40. And he was the one who did that video. He's also a young Baba, a new Baba, and he's also a business person and does a lot of promotion. But if you haven't seen that video, Kepra, I hope you'll make that available to everyone as well. But he's a very creative brother, and I just want to point him out. And then finally, because things are stepping off here, we hope to have engagement in selective local efforts, like we were engaged in getting AB 3121 passed last year, and again through phone calls and emails. And that's the first reparations task force based on HR 40 in the US. And that had its first meeting on this past June 1st, and both Cam and I testified during the public comment period there. And so I hope I stayed within those 7 minutes. I was moving pretty quick. And so let me leave it at that, and then I'll handle any questions that come forward as well. Asante Sana.
Well, Asante Sana, to you. We're going to deal with the questions shortly. We have a couple of more regions. And for those of you who may have joined us a little late, what we are doing is going over, we've already gone over our commissions, which is our work groups. We're now going over our regions. And
Queen Mother?
Yes.
Yes, if there's anyone from the West that's on the call, they should, and they have anything to offer, they should. Ashe.
Ashe. Okay. All righty. Well, Asante Sana for that. I believe Brother James is on the call. Okay. Okay, Ari.
Hey, thanks so much. Let me say greetings to everyone, and thanks
Greetings.
for the stick-to-itiveness of getting this high-tech stuff rocking and rolling. That's what reparations do. We endure, and we have a great lot of resilience. And I'm happy to report that the Northeast region is following those, or representing those types of manifestations. And let me do the first report. Let me say that I want to do a report on relationship with my family. My daughter's doing super fantastic down in DC at NASA. My son is healing, I'm healing. And so we're just having a great time. We're going to do some business together. We're going to have a little triadic economic development going on here. And so I'm going to get that out, because we've been talking about it about an hour ago. All right, so here we go. Northeast Region Report. Let's see, there's 36 members in the Northeast region. Half of them, 18, are in Philadelphia. New England region has 5, New England chapter has 5 members, and the Northeast region at large has 13 members. There will be an election today in the Northeast region for secretary and the new Northeast regional representative. This is my last year, and but you know, I'm gonna stand in the crossroads. Let's see. Let's move right along to our strategic planning goals. The Northeast region is in compliance with its planning goals as indicated coming up. Our top three priorities for the region: youth development, and you all see the manifestation of that, right? And I'm gonna just call two names if y'all nobody want to talk to me. That's Rashawn Williams and Brianna Moore. These are the new co-chairs of the Philadelphia chapter. And the Philadelphia chapter happened to be the most active chapter in the region. And so we have a little impact up and down the Northeast regions, which spans from Maine to Maryland, as I like to identify that, and without fighting with Jamoke. Let's see, the next one is HR 40 and Senate Bill 4. We've done a lot of on-person lobbying there on Capitol Hill, as Sister Kenneth has mentioned. So I won't go too much in that. We've been pushing slavery disclosure laws right now, and our primary emphasis would be enforcement. The law was passed in Philadelphia in 2005, but there have yet to be any type of enforcement. And of course, the ebb and flow of our work, our volunteer work, we now have a possibility of moving forward with that in a great sort of way through the relationship with the University of Penn. And we're planning, hopefully in 2022, there will be a reparations 101 class that will lead to, as a precursor to the Reparation Law Clinic. The class is to prepare the students to what they should expect in representing reparations as a second or third year law student. And I had made that presentation back in 2018. And Brianna Moore and Rashawn and the Philadelphia chapter, we all moved forward with that and strengthen that relationship. Also, we made a strong relationship with the Unitarian Universal Church here in Philadelphia, Mount Airy. We have a good partnership going on. It's always developing. They've done a lot of good things for us already in terms of considering all the things that we think that we would like to do with them. One, we like for them to set up a Change for Change Sunday, wherein that their congregations make contributions to donate change for what? Change. And so that's going on pretty well. And hopefully we'll have Reparations Sunday rolling through on with that group. There's so many other things going on right now with that. I don't have time based on the 7 minutes I have. I'd like to mention Willard, though. Willard and I are part of a reparation team with two other people, Jane Bonner and Carl McCargo for UUA. And we just did a presentation for the annual assembly 2021. And I'll leave it to Willard to post all those videos. I think it went real well, and that it just tightened up the relationship that we've developed with them over time. And pretty soon they'll be marching for us to other churches as well. At least that's the notion. All right, and let me keep on going here. Okay, we know I talked about the Reparation Law School, blah, 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 blah. Well, right now we're looking for a co-sponsor or a sponsor of the Philadelphia Reparations Commission. We have one or two city council people in sight. We've talked a little bit to one. We have yet to engage the other, but I think we will be successful in doing that. So look for 2022. We should have some real manifestation of that, some practice. And yes, I mentioned I did the presentation, Juneteenth presentation for NASA GUSFC, that's the National Goddess State Goddard Flag Center. And anyway, my daughter, she's the very first president of the new African American Advisory Committee there at NASA. And one of the first things she did was pull together a Juneteenth celebration and invited her dad to make a presentation. And I did. It was called What Juneteenth Means to Me. It's on my web page. I'm not on a web page, but but on my Facebook page, and 600 people tuned in. These are mostly federal government workers, Blacks in federal government, you know, and et cetera, et cetera. So we will be developing a great relationship with them as well. And also we made a presentation, Brother Osaze and I, to the group called Delaware African Commission. I think Brother Osaze, Mujahid, Nyuma, his wife, Atia Inhuma, and myself, we made the presentation. There was 2 other people that made presentations as well that are localized there in Delaware, but it went over well. And the DAC, I think it was called it DCA. No, DCA is a group of Africans, you know, motherland Africans that's trying to make their readjustments here in this country. And so we're gonna make that relationship stronger as it relates to reparations. All right, and another thing, oh yeah, and of course, the DES think tank that Professor Randall and I started back in what I guess it must have been 2017, 18. And after, 2017, 18, it's moving right along. We're going to do some things that will have something to do with the census tract and getting us identified in the census tract as descendants of African slaves in the United States. And in fact, that's how I met with her, because she was trying to get a new identity for us Black folks in the census. And when I saw her stuff, I knew that this is a game winner for reparationists and reparations organizations in terms of our context here in the United States. Okay, I'm gonna stop there. Maybe they have time for questions. Unitarian, stop. Okay. Now, what I want to emphasize, and I emphasize here in Philadelphia, and you can maybe see the examples of that based on my report, that we have to stop philosophizing about reparations, right? We got to do more. And if you don't know what to do, just do something. But you got to do something in the name of reparations. If you don't, other folks will. They're going to fill that big gap in the public domain. And of course, you know, we'll be on the outskirts looking in at everybody doing this reparation work, right? So let's stop philosophizing and theorizing. Look, it'd be a disservice to our ancestors if we continue to do that. They want to see us do something. They want to see us do something every day. And so this is the context of the work that we do in Philadelphia, that we're going to manifest, we're going to do something. And if it's not done the first time, we're going to do it again until we get it better and better until it works. But I guarantee everybody that we will be doing things in Philadelphia as a first moment, which requires us to stop and do some planning and then do the work. Everybody want to, you know, gravitate to this new surge around reparations. But hey, y'all, we got to take some time now, because if we get caught up in that, then we caught up in that whirlwind, and we're not guiding that whirlwind. So we got to create our own space. And so you got to step back and plan a little bit. And so that's what we're going to do here in Philadelphia chapter, where I will spend a lot more of my time with those responsibilities. And of course, engage Brother Cortland, brother who I love very much, and his willingness, his courage to step forward and come on as the new Northeast Region representative from Brooklyn. And so Brooklyn is a desert, and maybe it has something to do with my not going and engaging them as regular as I could have, but nevertheless, he's there. He's a resident there. And, you know, localizing our work is always geared with who's there in the neighborhood. And so we have Cortland Hankins, the president of hip hop. So there's a dynamic there that we're going to bring to the Northeast region and bring to, of course, to NCOBRA. So there's a lot of things going on, y'all, in the Northeast region. And I'll pause right now. And as I look over 1 or 2 more notes, I did mention, all right. And Nabila Bay, likewise, was up for secretary. Thank you so much, Ari. Nabila Bay is up for our Northeast region secretary. She's a long time, one of the original members of NCOBRA chapter. She's engaged in some PhD studies right now, but she's, you know, she's a reparationist. You know, it means that whatever she's doing, wherever her feet are, you know, she's representing us. She's representing our ancestors. She's representing us current day, you know. That's what I like about her. And so we have 2 good people that's going to bring some new energy. I will always remain and be available, of course, and all the other crew here in the Northeast bring that new energy. I posted some pictures about our Juneteenth activity that Brother Rashawn pulled together. And it was fantastic. I've never seen a brother dance so well and so often. He danced the whole occasion. Brother Rashawn, I ain't mean to tell on you, bro, but it's all on camera, so it's all in the pictures. So anyhow, that was key. All we did was put up our banners, our 2 banners, and had a table there. And those young folks did their thing, and we didn't try to interrupt them. We just engaged them. A lot of them want to take pictures under the banner with me, stuff like that. So we just have to have a presence in the community, and don't be afraid to engage those young folks. Don't even be disheartened if they don't seem like walking to you. You know, they walk, you know, young folk watch what we do. They are making the decision whether or not they want to be involved with NCOBRA in a major sort of way. I know they're watching in Philadelphia because our young folks is in the lead. All right, so let me go and cut my time now because I lost sense of time, and nobody's want to give me a heads up or signal you got 2 or 3 more minutes already. Mother, how much more time do I have? You know, I can go a little bit more if I got.
You're about done, Brother Ari. Do you have?
No.
Do you have anything else?
Huh?
I was just wanting to make sure you got all your points in.
Yeah, that's good. I did. I'm cool. I'm cool.
Okay. All right. Well, we would like to say Asante Sana to you. And for those who don't know, Brother Ari is a past male co-chair of NCOBRA, and so is Brother Jahara. And then the next person coming up, Brother James Rogers, also is a past male co-chair. And I would like for everybody to understand that our Northeast region is one of our strongest regions. And they definitely took a lead for Reparations Awareness Day, and we were so glad that they did. And so again, Asante Sana. And if all the regions could look at that as a model and move forth and build these chapters, hey, this time next year we'll be a lot further than we are today. So now we'll have, this is our final regional rep, which is Brother James Rogers from the Southwest region. So you have about 7 minutes. Let us know what states are in your region, and if there's any projects you're working on, just give us an update.
Greetings. Can you hear me?
Yes.
You can? Okay. I've been on all the time. Somehow, I guess I was in the room, what do you say, participant room or something, so I couldn't speak or couldn't see myself, see the audio or video. But I'm here now, and my name is James Rogers III, and I was just recently re-elected as the Southwest Regional Representative. In that region, in the Southwest region, we have 7 states, and those states are Texas, Louisiana, Tennessee, Oklahoma, New Mexico, Arizona, and Arkansas. Quite a few states and a lot of work to do. Some of our goals that we just recently agreed upon at our past regional conference was to try and recertify some of the chapters that had fallen off. And those chapters include the Prairie View A&M chapter, Prairie View University A&M chapter, the Houston chapter, and we have just recently received a recertification from the Lafayette chapter, so it's coming back online. Also the New Orleans chapter, we have someone there working to try to bring that one back online, along with the Memphis chapter. So yes, we have one person by the name of professor at Prairie View by the name of August Melvo. He's a professor there, and he's trying to bring the Houston and the Prairie View chapter back online. So we're busy trying to recertify and create new chapters where we don't have any, and particularly in the states of Arizona and New Mexico, in which we've never had chapters there. But my goal is to have a chapter, at least one chapter in each state. In some cases, we can have more than one chapter in each state. Just like Louisiana, we hope to have New Orleans, Lafayette, and Baton Rouge. Baton Rouge is one of our strongest chapter. They are very well organized. They meet on a regular basis. Sister Tyra and Brother James are the co-chairs there, and they do an excellent job, you know, turning in a report quarterly so that the board knows what they're doing, and then we send back information to them to let them know what the board is doing. And that's what we try to do here, and that is to carry out the initiatives of the national body. We're tuned into the commissions. We're actually trying to get all of our members to join a commission, and that way we can bring back the initiatives of those commissions and work on them. One in particular that we're doing right now is with the organization membership commission, in which we're trying to sign up local organizations. We've all been talking about the importance of working through local organizations. And Brother Ouka in Lafayette has just recently signed up 2 local organizations. We have one here in Dallas that actually signed up for 4 years as a local organization. And so we're on a recruitment basis to bring in more local organizations. We also do a lot of work in Dallas here. The Dallas chapter meets on a regular, not a regular basis, on an as needed basis. And when we have projects and things that we want to get involved in, then we'll have a meeting. But we want to get back to having regular meetings, but right now we're just meeting on a as needed basis. However, all of our members are very active in the community. We support the other organizations like the local organizing committee of Dallas and Fort Worth. We actually put on a Kwanzaa program every year annually. We're on the Dallas list for organizations that are sponsors one day out of the year, out of the Kwanzaa season, and our day is Ujamaa, and that's cooperative economics. We also like I said, push the national initiatives for HR 40. We make phone calls to our representatives so that we can get them on board as supporters. We also support other organizations like the Organization of Black Unity in San Antonio, Texas, and they have an annual family day, which we're invited. Sometimes we do a workshop there on reparations. We also support the NBUF chapter in Houston and attend their Caravan to the Ancestors annual. That's a regional event in which people come from all over the state of Texas and over the region to meet up on the beach there in Galveston, Texas, and on the beach in Galveston, Texas for a full day of activities. We also continue to support the Black Wall Street lawsuit. We've invited Brother Demario Solomon Simmons to our last Kwanzaa program, who gave us an excellent video on what happened in Tulsa and what he's doing to file a lawsuit. You want to know more information about that, he has a website called Justice for Greenwood. If you can go to Justice for Greenwood and help support what he's trying to do there. Again, I don't want to take up much time, but we're very busy here, and we're growing real quickly, and we'll have more to report tomorrow. Thank you. Oh, one last thing, and I wanted to mention Brother Oscar Escobar, a long time elder in NCOBRA and the reparations movement, has been hospitalized in Memphis, Tennessee. So we want to ask for his prayers for him and his family. So thank you for your time.
Sante Sana, Brother James, and yes, we've been praying for Brother Oscar. Him and his wife used to come to every NCOBRA convention when they were able to do so. And so we appreciate that report. Again, these are our regions. Brother James, if you would put your information in the chat so people can get in touch, particularly if you live in any of those areas, that would be great. At this time, we're going to entertain some questions and answers, and then we will be having a break well, if you need to take care of some personal business, get something to eat, but there will be a video being shown during that time. So one of the first questions is what kind of resources is needed to build chapters in Alabama and Mississippi? And that, so that's for that region. Is that your region, Brother James?
No, that's not me.
I don't know why I keep trying to give you Mississippi. But okay. Oh, that's Brother Jamoke, and I believe he's gone. I'm going to go on to the next question. How can regional reps use boots on the ground to increase membership and chapters? And so that is for all the regional reps. Whoever wants to answer first. Anybody?
I'll go. This is Sister Herrera from Milwaukee. What you have to do is get involved with organizations. That's after all, we are called, the organization to get in, for the connection with all the organizations. So get involved with the different organizations, and then also get involved with supporting young folks whenever they have. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay. Also, participate in events that young folks are having and young adults are having. Stay connected with them, because that way you can just get involved. That's how you got to recruit. You have to get involved. Get involved with the community. Get involved with everybody, your elected officials, everyone in the community. That's what you need to do.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much. Does anybody else want to contribute to that question?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we have one of our members, Dr. Safisha Hill, is a professor at UTA teaching African American Studies. She has constantly invited us to her class to speak on reparations. She actually gave us the whole hour to speak on reparations. And we have recruited some of her students to attend our annual conference. And also I have asked them to be part of this boots on the ground thing. And it was really exciting to them, especially the part when they knew that they was going to get paid for it. A lot of students are, really need, some financial assistance. So that is one way that if we offer them financial assistance, we can get, students from all, walks of life into this boots on the ground project.
Okay, very good. Any more responses?
Also, I concur with Brother Rogers. I did, me and Oshie, before he moved to Atlanta, we did a presentation at the junior college at MATC with the Black Student Union, and they were so excited. And many of them has been recruited, and a lot of them definitely want to get involved, are getting involved. And also, I'm scheduled to go, and I'm gonna do a presentation at UWM in Milwaukee as well. That's what you have to do. Like I said, you have to get involved. Yeah.
All righty. Sante Sana. Someone asked if they can get copies of today's earlier presentations for the commissions, and that is something I do not know. Brother Kepper, can you answer that? And I've also seen questions of getting copies of yesterday.
Yeah, give us about a week, and we'll put it on YouTube. And if anything else that people want in specific, that may take a little longer, but within the week, it'll definitely be on YouTube. And yeah, we can splice some stuff out.
Okay. Well, if we do not have any more questions, I believe we can now go into break. I believe this break is going to.
Queen Mother.
Yes, Brother Campbell.
I'd like to, even though the Southeast Regional wasn't available to answer that first question, it's really a general question. When
Okay, go
I'd
ahead.
like to just respond. So resources needed to start a chapter. Really, as it was stated, you only need 5 members who are interested in setting up a chapter in a particular location. And we have a checklist, chapter checklist, that you can get from our membership commission to help you do that. One of the ways of getting those 5 members is to have a reparations event. You can have a teach-in. You can have a teach-in. You can have a forum, a symposium that you can organize either at a physical event or either online. The Legislative Commission can help you if you want to do an online forum or teach-in on HR 40 or some other aspect of the movement. Brother Ari, as he stated, in Philly, they have a Reparations 101 educational tool. So the quickest way to get your 5 members is to have a forum and then use that as a membership drive and then use that as a potential to actually create a chapter. And contact the regional representatives. They'll have the resources, more resources available than what I've just shared for you if you want to do that.
Sante Sana for that information. Okay, we really appreciate everyone presenting, taking your time. And again, those who are joining us as participants, Sante Sana for being here. We still have a full day to go. I believe we're getting ready to break right now. And again, it should probably be about a 45-minute, maybe 50-minute break, which then will allow you to get some food. And as Brother Rashawn told us yesterday, stand up, head, shoulders, toes, get your exercise in, because you know, reparations is about healing, y'all. And we've got to begin by healing ourselves, you know, our bodies, our minds, and our families. So please keep that in mind. At this point, I will turn it over and appreciate everybody's contribution, everybody's question. And again, we really appreciate you taking your time to be with us today.
All right, folks, okay. It is now 3:03. We're a little bit ahead of time, which means there's extra time for you guys to recharge, re-energize, recalibrate, take all the information in regarding who NCOBRA is, who our commissions are, who our regional reps are. And we will be back at 4 p.m. and ready to rock with self-repair, internal reparation. So take care while you're gone. Hope to see you soon. Peace.
When I was awakened by my mother, I was real frightened. She says the white people are killing the colored people.
She saw 4 men coming toward our house, and all of them had torches, lighted torches.
After the gunfire, there was 4 or 5 white fellows that came to the house.
And they set fire to the curtains.
And there were airplanes that seemed to have been dropping something down to the houses and setting them on fire.
Yeah, that's when my little sister said, "Is the world on fire?" I said, "I don't know, but we had lots of trouble here."
This white guy asked, "When the hell are you going?" Using the N-word. And my grandpa said, "We're going out of town." And he said, "Not this day, you're not going out of town." Bam!
It's been 100 years since one of the worst acts of racial violence in American history. People from around the country descended on Tulsa for the anniversary, joining residents whose families have been here for generations, like Chief Egunwale Amusan, a descendant of race massacre survivors.
We're at a march right now honoring the victims and their descendants. Just up ahead, there's a carriage with the remaining living survivors, and behind me, what you see is a masquerade where they honor the ancestors because the land that we're walking on is sacred. Just as there's tension around what justice looks like for the massacre, there's also a difference of opinion on how the Tulsa Race Massacre should be commemorated 100 years later.
From May 31st to June 1st of 1921, a group of white men tore through Greenwood, Tulsa's wealthy African-American community, looting, killing, and then burning. They destroyed roughly 200 businesses and left nearly 10,000 Black Tulsans homeless overnight. Close to 300 people were murdered. No one was arrested.
We cannot deny that they have continued the systems of oppression. Yes.
For decades, the city refused to acknowledge the crime or its role in it. But that became harder to do once local activists, combined with cultural phenomena like HBO's Watchmen, exposed the horrors of Tulsa's race massacre to a broader audience. In 2018, the city put together a commission to locate several suspected mass graves where victims might have been buried.
Thank you all for being here tonight. The work of our Public Oversight Committee has been focused on phase 1 of our investigation.
This very much looks to me like a human dug pit of some sort. The size of it is very indicative of what could be a common grave associated with the massacre.
The initiative was supposed to be a move towards healing ahead of the centennial. Instead, the lack of immediate action revealed the deep and long-standing mistrust of the government by descendants of massacre victims.
So I'm a little concerned about the lack of aggressiveness.
The delay is a recognition of the difference in the nature of the property ownership. And if we have to pursue a court order, we will do that.
Well, Mayor, we would suggest that we do that because we keep giving deference to the owner, and if it is
just trying to be a good neighbor and work through it.
Months and months, Mayor.
It does something to you when you have met one of the survivors. I am carrying their pain, and I am on a pursuit for justice, and I mean that with every being in me. I pray to God that none of this is a cover-up. I want to believe in my city, but I am so conflicted with what I'm hearing today.
Mistrust of local authorities goes back to the fact that perpetrators of the massacre included city officials, law enforcement, and members of the Klan. As high-ranking leaders of Tulsan society, they were able to cover up the story.
This World War II 45, I bought it from one of the widows. She was a witness.
General Ed Wheeler wrote the first full historical account 50 years after the massacre.
When I started to try to put together the project, I realized there wasn't anything in any textbook. There wasn't in any other book, for that matter. It's simply the Tulsa riot disappeared, as far as written material went. This is 50 years after the riot. I went to the Tulsa County Sheriff's Office and I was told that their records were in deep records they could not get to. Tulsa Police Department had no records and they made it plain that their lunch hour was more important.
Did you have any pushback from people in the community?
I didn't have pushback as much as I had opposition outright. I had my job threatened twice. I had notes left on my windshield. It got uncomfortable enough that I transferred my wife and my 5-year-old son to my mother-in-law's. The minute that story came out, all of that died off. And it took me a while to figure out why. They were afraid I was going to name names.
By the time we get finished with this tour, you will understand, even people who think they understand the story still marginalize it and don't get it.
Some of the victims' descendants have been trying to expose the extent of the massacre and its cover-up for decades.
Only 40% of the original inhabitants rebuilt Greenwood. 60% never came back. Where are they buried? What river are they dumped in? What mass grave are they put in? And it was all homes and businesses. All the way that way, all the way that way. This is the Cotton Club. All of the bands who made the Cotton Club famous in New York City came to Tulsa first. That same sheriff who had Dick rolling in the courthouse building, that's him in the left corner next to that horse. Overnight, between midnight and 5 a.m., they devised a plan, deputized hundreds of white men. Don't let anybody call it a mob, because if you got a badge, you're sanctioned. That city's sanctioned murder. So we have to tell our own story so that people know the truth about what really happened in Greenwood.
This tour is gonna make me proud and angry at the same time.
Absolutely, that's balance.
You give tours.
Yes.
In Greenwood. Why?
Napoleon Bonaparte said, and I'm paraphrasing, he said, history is a set of lies agreed upon. So I agree to tell my own story. I mean, like, where are we getting our information from? The same people who kept it a secret.
What is your biggest fear surrounding the narrative of what happened?
The last 3 living survivors will die without justice. That is literally my biggest fear. I've looked in their eyes just as I looked in my grandfather's eyes. And for them to look at you and tell you, Chief, don't let them forget us. Excuse me. For them to say, don't let people forget us. What I heard was, these people are trying to bury us while we live.
I am a 107-year-old and have never been seen justice. I pray that one day I will.
The 3 living survivors recently testified on Capitol Hill in front of a subcommittee on reparations.
To this day, I can barely afford my everyday needs. All the while, the city of this Tulsa have unjustly used the names and stories of victims like me.
In 2001, an Oklahoma commission published the first government report on the massacre. Its main recommendation was reparations for descendants and survivors, but Tulsa failed to take action. Now survivors and descendants are suing the city to get them.
In just a few decades, my ancestors would experience enslavement, false freedom, Jim Crow, and a Holocaust that would be hidden from the pages of history for 100 years. This is not a matter of past trauma, it is concurrent.
I would like to welcome you into this sacred space. We are honored to have our survivors, who you'll see in just a moment.
Mother Fletcher and Uncle Red are in the building.
Survivors have been fighting for restitution since 1921. They filed at least 193 claims to recoup damages after the massacre. None were paid out. Just days after the massacre, a local paper stated, another nigger town should never again exist in Tulsa. And policies like redlining and urban renewal prevented them from rebuilding. As a result, people in North Tulsa, the majority Black part of the city, suffer higher rates of poverty and arrests. They also have a lower life expectancy than white Tulsans. Mayor G.T. Bynum's proposal for addressing his city's racial inequities is economic development. He set aside $42 million in tax incentives and loans to attract investment to Greenwood, but no Black developers have been granted contracts. When it comes to direct payment reparations for the victims and their descendants, what plans do you have in place to engage that?
So I think when it comes to payments, the challenge there is, what's the source? Where does it come from? Where I run into challenges is if it's coming from a tax that's levied on everybody in Tulsa, when this generation of Tulsans did not carry out a crime. And I don't think that this generation of Tulsans should be financially penalized for something that criminals did 100 years ago. There's a lot of other things that we're trying to do on that front, including economic revitalization and trying to rebuild Black Wall Street here.
And when you say rebuild it, what does that look like?
We want to create an environment where business and property ownership and wealth creation can occur.
The developments that are happening right now in Greenwood, are those Black developers?
Whether it's a college campus or the baseball field or USA BMX's Olympic training and trials facility that's under construction? The answer is no. But the value of those projects is that they create a draw into an area, and then that incentivizes the private sector redevelopment in the area.
Oh no, wait a minute, come on, Mayor. Yeah. Stay with me on this one now. Stay with me on this one. It was their land. It was their businesses. I don't think a BMX training facility and a baseball stadium is gonna do the trick.
No BMX arena or anything else that we can do today will make up for the tragedy that occurred in 1921. I mean, hundreds of our neighbors got murdered that night.
There seems to be a lot of proposals around economic development.
For who? I mean, for who? That's what you have to ask. And when you walk in deep Greenwood, you see all kind of stuff being built around Greenwood. But all of the tax revenue is going outside what's in the center.
What do you feel you deserve?
You have to know what I lost to even ask that question. Casualties cannot be measured, right? Like you can rebuild a city, but you rebuilding the human spirit, I think we deserve the same thing the Japanese got. We deserve the same thing that Rosewood got. We deserve the same thing that victims of the Jewish Holocaust got, because everything we lost fits, right? We're talking about mass graves, humiliation, being forced to wear tags as if you're property again. You're talking about a people who managed to do everything America has ever told you you need to do and then strip it from you like it's an experiment. Why is the city trying to throw a centennial and leverage it for money without paying justice to those people who deserve it?
We've joined the march organized by the city to open up this pathway to hope that's sandwiched between a freeway and the baseball field. And compared to the march organized by the community and the descendants, I have to say this one lacks a certain, shall I say, color. And it's interesting that they call it the pathway to hope, because if I was one of the descendants, I'd be like, I hope you're gonna give me some money instead of this pathway. The Centennial Commission spent over $1 million to build this pathway, part of $30 million raised to commemorate the massacre, with most of the money allocated for a museum. Not $1 went directly to the survivors or the descendants.
4 mics and 3 drum mics.
I say, now we open the way. We call on the gatekeeper to open the way for us. I say,
Justice for the descendants of the Tulsa Race Massacre begins with locating the victims and dignifying them with a proper burial. The excavation of suspected remains started this week.
We're connected to this soil, this ground. Like our roots are here. We know our people are buried in these grounds. We're not disconnected from our ancestors. That's what we know. Greenwood is us.
Do you think America, by way of Tulsa's example, will ever be able to provide the justice that you are looking for when it comes to what has been done against Black people?
Hands down. Johnny Cochran told me himself when he was alive, if we win Tulsa, we can get justice in every city in the United States of America, including for reparations, for enslavement of African people. You have a living, organic case right here that could affect the whole nation. Why wouldn't Tulsa want to be the example, right? Like a real example of what it means to have hope, to have healing, to be able to transcend incidents of the past through restorative justice. There are no options, right? Like when we look at the grounds here, what's the option for that? Acknowledgement? No, it wasn't. Clearly, it's not enough. That's why we're digging. Because we know what you see happening here is symbolic. Tulsa's got to dig deep into its own graves and recover the bones and figure out how can we fix what we did so wrong.
Long live Greenwood. Reparations right now.
Nicole Pierce and Bronco in Boston. They won the championship. They go to the finals 2 times in 3 years. Okay, and if Kenny Perkins hadn't been hurt in game 6, or who knows what would happen in that game 7, because he was a big man in the force of the paint. And against Andy Bonham and Pablo Soto and those guys, you kind of needed that. So they lost the finals there. He goes to the Los Angeles Clippers. Is it a crime that Doc Rivers relied on CP3 and Blake Griffin? Those were the cornerstones of the franchise. When they lost last year, is it a crime that he relied on Paul George and Kawhi Leonard? Now, this year, because you see, I had no problem with him relying on CP3 and Blake Griffin. I had no problem with him relying on Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. That's what the hell they were brought there to do. Ben Simmons is a different matter. And Ben Simmons is the indictment that you can throw against Doc Rivers, because Ben Simmons, his reputation preceded him. Not just his inability to shoot, but some of his work ethic. Still, you insisted that his shooting would not be an issue.
My name is Wendy Goff. I'm a member of the Atlanta NCOBRA. I joined NCOBRA because I feel that the United States government owes reparations to African Americans. African Americans in this country have been enslaved, they've been hung, they've been disenfranchised, incarcerated, and I don't really have a good feeling about the United States of America. I can't pledge allegiance to the flag, I can't sing My Country Tears of Thee. I don't have affection for America in that sense. I never had affection for America. I live here, but I don't have an affection for America because of the oppression, the slavery, the disenfranchisement, the discrimination, and the terror that Black people have faced in this country, all the way up into George Floyd. It's funny how on January 6, 2021, there was an insurrection against the United States government at the U.S. Capitol. A mob ran into the Capitol and they were saying they want their country back. And it was just ironic because I never felt I had a country. If I have a country, my country wouldn't enslave me. My country wouldn't discriminate against me. My country would not oppress me. So I think that reparations is necessary to heal the nation. It's necessary to heal African Americans. It's for me to feel any kind of unitedness and affection for the country that I live in. I think reparations are due and they should be paid. And I think it is the answer to the problems in the United States. It is the answer. We cannot have a United States of America if we're not united. We can't, reparations is the answer to all the racial problems in America. It's not a quick fix. We can do little quick fixes along the way, but until we get reparations, we'll never be healed. That's why I joined NCOBRA. I think it's necessary.
Hotep family, greetings. This is Baba Kwame, and I am presenting my video on why I joined NCOBRA. The reason I joined NCOBRA is because Black people, African people, New Africans are great people, and we deserve the greatest that is due us. We come from civilizations that were created by us, developed by us, and ruled by us. So what NCOBRA entails for me is us going back to that state, that royal state, where we controlled our own destiny. With reparations, our nation will come our glorification. I've been a member of NCOBRA for many years, and I see nothing but great things within NCOBRA. We need reparations. We need to be repaired. And repair also means going back to our original state of having control over our environment. Our environment included having a land base. So having a land base, our own system in place, raising great, strong children, having a wonderful environment and wonderful government in place, all that is part of why I am a member of NCOBRA and why I decided to join NCOBRA. Free the land. Thank you.
So we get it. We did a bad thing. We killed millions of people, permanently altered the trajectory of their lineage, exploited their bodies to the fullest extent of survival, dampened their minds, and stifled their capacities. We stole generations of innovation and joy and creativity. We stole life, literal life, but what can we do about it now? What will fix it now? Why can't you stop talking about it now? It's like over. Like so last season or century or whatever. I mean, like you do have a solution to this problem we created, right? So like go ahead. I'm waiting. What exactly do reparations look like? Well, reparations look like me going on several dates with white men and ordering the most expensive thing on the menu, while simultaneously grilling them on Black history facts and maintaining uncomfortably intense eye contact. Reparations look like reading I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings while humming A Change Is Gonna Come and feeding dog food to the Trump supporter chained in my basement. Reparations look like swerving every fiscally conservative Republican who DMs me, even if he says he's the same party as Lincoln. Especially if he says he's the same party as Lincoln. Reparations look like going to happy hour with the white woman who has a PETA sticker slightly overlapping the Confederate flag bumper sticker on her car and leaving her with the $300 bill. Reparations look like never laughing at your jokes, like saying every dish you make is tasteless, even if I saw you put the whole damn spice rack in it. They look like calling you on your bullshit and clapping while I do it. Reparations look like permanently altering the trajectory of the lives of millions of people, of their lineage. They look like fostering their minds and expanding their capacities. They look like generations of innovation and joy and creativity. Reparations look like you making some type of effort beyond asking me to abracadabra you an easy solution. They look like the answer you have always been afraid of. They look like a cross perpetually burning on your front lawn for every dollar your ancestors made from my ancestors' screams. Reparations look like you holding your breath for the last 3 minutes, like the uncomfortable silence that will likely follow this poem. They look like all of the words you hoped I would never learn to read. They look like a block party in a gated neighborhood with perpetually burning crosses as far as the eye can see, and a deflated moon bounce, and tasteless potato salad that I saw you dump the whole damn spice rack into. Reparations look like me still standing in the wake of your destruction. Look like not having to answer this question just because it conveniences you. Reparations look like the least you can do. They look like the least you could fucking do.
Sojourner Truth was a slave trade abolitionist and women's rights activist. Born into slavery, she fled to her freedom in 1826 with her infant child. She believes slaves helped build America's wealth and demanded reparation through land distribution. In 1870, she petitioned Congress to give the freed slaves in Washington land to fend for themselves. Her petition failed, but her actions still paved the way for others to fight for their reparations. Callie House was a hardworking mother of 5 and a washerwoman. Seeing how her fellow slaves were unable to fend for themselves, Callie actively joined the National Ex-Slave Mutual Relief, Bounty, and Pension Association that took their petition to the U.S. Congress to obtain redress for historical wrongs. The federal government had then started accusing the association of using mail to lead a fraud scheme. Callie was later accused in 1916 of postal fraud and spent a year in prison.
My name is Earl Pinto, and I am the guest host of the Flo Kennedy Show. We are greatly honored to have as our guest today a great woman, a freedom fighter for African people throughout the world. Her name is Queen Mother Moore. Welcome, Queen Mother.
Thank you.
How did you become known as Queen Mother Moore?
Well, that name was bestowed upon me by the African students, first of all, as a result of my years of activities in this country. They gave it to me. And when I went to Africa, to Dr. Nkrumah's funeral, the chief heard about me, and he sent for me to come to him. And I went, and he said, I'm going to make you officially Queen Mother of the Ashanti. And he initiated me Queen Mother. But I was Queen Mother before I went to Africa.
Did you personally know the late Kwame Nkrumah?
Yes, I did. I knew him here.
Okay, you met him while he was visiting here?
Yes.
Okay, and that is in conjunction with your work?
Yes.
I understand that you sent a petition to the United Nations in, I think, 1957 for reparations for the black people in America. Explain something about that to us.
Yes, the petition called for us to go back to Africa, for those who wanted to go back. And for those who wanted to stay here, there had to be certain indemnity given for the people who wanted to stay, the people who wanted to go.
What kind of indemnity?
Well, I was asking for $200 billion.
$200 billion to indemnify?
Yes, for the injury that we have received. The injury as a result of our enslavement.
Okay, that's for our 400 years of enslavement.
Yes.
As reparations, we requested $200 billion.
Yes.
Okay, when you sent this petition to the United Nations, what kind of response did you get?
I got very good response, but he told me that we needed a member nation to introduce the resolution, since we were not officially members of the UN.
Is this with your work with the Republic of New Africa?
No, that was not. I went as a member of the Ethiopian Women, the Universal Association of Ethiopian Women.
I understand that you founded that organization.
Yes.
And what was that organization about?
To save our men from execution. They were being executed at the rate of 2 a week almost. There was somebody being executed.
Then unjustly executed?
Yes, we felt they were unjustly executed. And we tried to save some of them. We did save some.
And then you also worked with Marcus Garvey.
Yes.
Tell us first something about Marcus Garvey.
Well, I was first brought into the Marcus Garvey movement by the fact that I understood that he was to come and speak to us in Louisiana. Mm-hmm. And we went to the meeting, and lo and behold, he didn't come. And we heard that the mayor refused to allow him to come. So we were very incensed about it and got a delegation to go see why. And then it was guaranteed that Marcus Garvey would come the next night. And the hall was packed with people. And everybody went with ammunition.
They had guns?
They had guns. Everybody had guns.
Down in New Orleans, when the police told Marcus Garvey he couldn't speak to us and prevented him from coming to speak to us one night. We, of course, went in delegations and everything and raised such a ruckus that they had to let Marcus Garvey speak to us the next night. But when we went, I want you to hear me, when we went determined that nothing would stop Marcus Garvey from speaking to us. Now, how do you do that? How do you go determined to keep the powers that be from preventing your leader from speaking to you? How do you do that? Well, I'll tell you how we did it. Every one of us, including myself, went armed. We went armed. I had 2 guns on me.
You have land in upstate, Parksville, I believe it is. Where
Yes.
It's you have the Mount Addis Ababa.
Mount Addis Ababa.
Okay, and you doing work on that mountain.
Well, we want to build there a college of African studies. We want to build a monument to the 100 million Africans who perished in the slave trade, and for those who died since. All the people who died in the struggle. 100 million. 100 million died in the slave trade, yes.
So that's our Holocaust.
Yes, that's our Holocaust.
Holocaust.
Holocaust, yes.
All right, this institution that you want to build, the purpose of it will be to educate black people?
Yes, to educate our people, to help our people to understand, to de-Negroize us. To de-Negroize us, change our minds from European minds. You know, we have no idea the condition that we're in, the psychoneurosis that we suffer. We suffer a terrible, terrible blight. We don't know who we are. We use European names, and we just are comfortable with our condition. We really don't know who we are. We have no idea. We're captive. You got to look yourself in the mirror. Who are you? Who are you? Most of our people don't know who they are. They don't know. They think in European. They don't have a mind of their own. They got to get their right mind back. They can't think. They can't think. I don't care if you have your PhD. Don't tell me you've gone to the best colleges. The best college didn't give you your identity, didn't give you a national identity at all. You've got to be able to comprehend what you're thinking. You've got to be able to understand and think for yourself and stop thinking in the pattern that the other people want you to think all the time.